Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts,
Klauss Nightbringer,
Seyrr Kimono,
Chille,
and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 67. How is everybody doing tonight?
we're getting closer and closer to that magic number.
Yeah.
73?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one. Sorry, what was that?
Isn't the magic number 99, or is it 999?
999, yes. We're getting closer to that.
We've already repassed the real magic number, that is 42, but, you know.
Yeah, that's the answer to life and everything and something stuff. And yeah, I'm tired. Give me a break.
Towels.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
I would watch that crossover.
Oh, God.
No problem. We're banned for life.
All right, as you can hear, we
So
have
long and thanks for all the towels.
a guest joining us right away. Friend of the show, Taliz Marvelous. Welcome to the show, Taliz.
Hey guys, thank you for having me again.
We've got him joining us right at the beginning of the show because we're going to be talking about something that we referenced a couple episodes back when we were talking about Final Fantasy 14 getting some cards within the Final Fantasy, the trading card game. And he told us on Twitter that we fucked up.
Basically, yeah.
So,
Love you guys.
So he got back to us and said, hey, you know what? Maybe I should come on and correct your sorry asses. So I'm like, sure, why don't you? And the fact that we just love, hanging out with you. You're an avid supporter of the show. We thank you for that. You sent us some really cool stuff from the Eorzea Cafe. So anything we can do to, help out somebody who's helped us out, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, man.
Before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been up to a little bit the past 2 weeks since the last episode. How you guys been?
Pretty good. I've barely been on. I managed to get enough poetics to upgrade a couple more weapons, and then I had the interview for a full-time librarian position, so we'll see how that goes.
Good luck.
Thank you. But yeah, that's kept me busy the last week and a half or so I've barely been on.
That would do it. Chille, how about you?
I've been busy learning. I know I cleared it last week. I've been still busy learning 07S because we've cleared it once, but that doesn't mean you got it on farm. We cleared it again this week, and this week we actually cleared it in under an hour. So I think we're starting to really get it. That's not 5 and 6. That's just 7. We cleared in like 45 minutes. So I think we're starting to really get the hang of it.
Nice.
Apart from that, I've really just logged on. I did some Eureka so I could cap my Mandasi.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I mean, what was it, last week? I capped on Tuesday just by running Eureka.
Yeah. So, I did a couple of experts just because of,
Hey, Kane, sorry to interrupt. Thank you for that cheer, Kane. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Kane.
So,
hey.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No worries. I did a couple of Eurekas just because our raid times were a little bit short. So I did a bit just to fill time until I cooked dinner. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week.
And how about you, Taliz? What have you been up to? I know you it sounds like you've been pretty busy outside of Final Fantasy.
So I have FFTCG somewhere between 2 and 4 days a week. I run 3 Pokemon leagues. I run a board game night, and I currently have 1 night off a week from gaming.
Wow.
And you play Final Fantasy then?
I was going to, but I went to the gym this week.
Come on, man. Life choices.
How dare you think of your own health first?
Right?
I'm too old for this crap.
But no, thank you for joining us, and that's why he's on here. I mean, he would be the closest thing that we have to an expert in Final Fantasy TCG. So, why don't you go ahead and take it away, sir?
Every time I hear that, I think TGC Thunder God Sid. Like, it's mildly confusing.
Oy, oy. Okay,
Is
so
that-
first and foremost, Seyrr, you said you had a pack that you were going to open for us, so we can kind of go through the cards that way.
Yep. Due to shenanigans, I have 2 full booster boxes, one from Opus 1 and one from Opus 2, which apparently are the release sets that they use for this.
Yeah.
All right. So I am grabbing a pack from the Opus 2 box. It says that it contains 12 cards, randomly taken from a total of 148. Let's see what's in here. All right. We have... So what of this do I want to be looking at?
Just name the cards, I guess.
So let's see. We've got an Imitation Liegeman. It looks like Furion, only all in crystal. An Astrologian.
Yay!
Edward from Final Fantasy IV. Capricious Thief. It looks like a crystalline Zidane. Dark Knight. Looks like the Final Fantasy XIV one. Sid Polendina. That would be the Final Fantasy IV one. We have a very shiny foily Renoa.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That sounds like you're rare.
Ormi, that would be the guy from Final Fantasy X, 2. Palom. We've got Len, that's a very pretty card. And Ingus from Final Fantasy III.
Cool.
Cool.
So, any of these cards I should be getting out so that we can look at them, go over things on them, stuff to explain. You know this,
So-
you should figure out how to explain it.
So the Renoa card, if you look at the very bottom, there's a number that says 2-04 something. What is the rest of that number?
2-048R.
Okay, if it was the legendary one, I might actually have to drive to your house and steal that card.
I mean, I've got another 35. I've got another 35 packs.
So that the Legend Renoa is probably one of the best cards in the set and is highly, highly sought after. The one you have is a rare. Now, in Japanese language, something like uncommon that Magic would use for their not rares but not commons, there's no way to say that because un means less likely and common means more likely. So there's no word in Japanese for it. So that's why Japanese games have common, rare, and then 1,600 varieties of rare. Look at things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball. There's common, rare, super rare, mythic rare, whatever. So for Final
Super
Fantasy,
rare, secret
common,
rare, ghost rare.
yeah, ghost rare, SS4 rares, etc. We have
Ultimate
common,
rare.
rare, hero, and legendary.
I'm seeing that listing here now. Common, rare, hero, legend, and then premium cards, whatever those are.
Correct.
Are those like pre-release type cards that are given out in limited quantities?
Pre-release, there's some cards that have an S, and that means they're from the starter. And in booster packs, you'll get starter cards, but they're foil. And it's the only way to get the foil versions of those cards.
Ah.
So for all of the cards, there's a couple different types. On the middle, in about the middle of the card on the left side, there's a little box that says either backup or forward. And the backups are things that you can put into play. They usually have an effect when they go into play, and then you can dull them, turn them sideways to generate 1 crystal point of whatever color they are. So you said you got a Dark Knight. The Dark Knight's a forward.
Yep. Renoa is a backup.
Renoa is a backup. So Renoa is an ice type. And so if you
Yep,
play the
she's got
Renoa,
a-
you get the...
She
Sorry,
has
go
a
ahead.
she has a nice light blue crystal with a 3 in it next to her name.
There's also a water, which is a dark blue crystal, which is super irritating. So if you look at the text box with a little water droplet or a snowflake, and that helps a lot.
Oh, yep. Yeah, that's definitely
So-
a snowflake there.
So the backups, once they're in play, you can dull them to create 1 crystal point of any color. If you discard a card and put it into your break zone, you can get 2 crystal points of whatever color it is. So if you discard that Renoa, you generate 2 ice crystal points.
So the backups are more to act as support units that give you these resources, can continually give you crystal points, or you can burn them to get a whole lot at once.
Basically. So your Astrologian that you mentioned is a 2-cost water backup. And if there's, you didn't open this particular card, but there is a Marrowweb card in Opus 2. It costs 4. It's also a backup. If you want to play Marrowweb, you'd have to discard 2 cards, at least one of which needs to be water, Or you can dull 4 backups, at least one of which needs to be water, or you can dull 2 backups and discard a card. Whatever it takes to get to 4 crystal points.
Makes sense.
So the forwards are the things that you have that are actually attacking your opponent. You don't get to attack units specifically, you just get to attack your opponent, and then they choose if they want to block with their own set of forwards.
On a similar vein to like what Magic would do.
Basically. Are there any of your cards that say EX on them by chance?
Not on this one, but I did open a second pack, and there is a card with an EX on that.
Okay, so the EX burst, when you play the card, that EX burst happens. However, if you choose to not block and you take damage, you take 1 card off the top of your deck and you play it face up on the other side of your play space. If it has an EX burst, that card goes off automatically without you having to pay for it.
So this one here is Raubon, and he is an X burst that when he enters the field, you choose a forward you control and a forward opponent controls, and the first one deals the second damage equal to its power. So his X burst, which could go off without you needing to pay for it, says one of your units gets to beat up one of their units.
So remember, you're taking that as damage. So let's say I attack you, you flip the card of your deck, and you get a Raubon. You say, okay, I'm going to grab my 10,000 power forward, and I'm going to pick your 5,000 power forward, and I'm going to absolutely crush it right now. So now not only did you get to destroy one of my units, but you got to do so on my turn, and you got to do it out of combat, and you got to do it at no risk, and you didn't have to pay for it.
So that's very lucky on my part.
So then does any damage go through then to the player?
No, damage, whether it's 1,000 or 10,000, it always calculates as 1 card that you get flipped.
Okay.
So things like Zidane, any of the thief, and a lot of the thief cards from like 3 or 5, where they have all of the characters and they all have all the different jobs, you can flip them, and they usually say something like, can't be blocked by something that costs 3 or more, can't be blocked by something that has 5,000 power or more. So you're generally not going to hit hard, but you're going to be able to hit around really big stuff. The reason I had you open Opus 2 is because Opus 2 and Opus 5 are the only ones that have Final Fantasy 14 cards in it consistently. And as a 14 podcast, I figured it'd be better to have cards people would recognize a little bit more than, okay, so here's Sabin.
I decided to go find my folder of Opus 1. I think it's Opus 2, I think.
So when you're building a deck, you actually get to use more than like Magic. You can put up 4 copies of a card. Pokemon is 4. Yu-Gi-Oh is 3. In this game, you can have as many copies of a named card as you want, but you can only have a maximum of 3 of any card number. So let's say you have a Black Mage. It's from Opus 2. It's a backup. It's a Lightning, and it's from Final Fantasy 14. Well, you can also get a Black Mage from Final Fantasy 3, and it's Arc or Ingus or Luneth. You can also get one from 5, and you can get all of the characters from that. You can also have a Black Mage from Tactics, Tactics Advance, or Tactics Advance 2. You can run all of them, but you can only have a maximum of 3 of any given card number. So there are decks that run like 18 red mages. My deck has 15 copies of Ifrit in it, for example.
But they're
from different
red
games.
mages.
Yeah.
Right. 1 red mage is going to grant haste. 1 is going to make something unblockable. These 3 are going to be lightning. These 4 are going to be fire.
Interesting.
So it allows you to create interesting dynamics where you'll have more than 1 copy of a specific type of card. There's also some forwards that have or backups that have an S ability. What an S ability has, there's usually a cost. You usually have to dull the card. You also have to discard a card with the same name as that card to activate it. So let's see, it was an Aerith. It's a wind type backup. And if you discard another copy of Aerith, you can activate all of your other backups. Now, you're only going to run 3 copies of that particular one, but there's 2 other versions of Aerith that you can run. So you can have 9 copies of Aerith if you want.
Oh, well.
Just several slightly different Aeriths with different abilities.
Correct. but you put the one with the S ability in play. And then you can activate that S ability up to 8 times because you have 8 other cards named Aerith that you can discard to activate the ability.
Oh.
So you can
There are
stack up
9
on stack up on
copies.
stack.
So there's 3 different versions of Yang from Final Fantasy IV. One of his cards has an S ability that he deals half the power to all of the forwards your opponent controls.
So you're breaking up a little bit there. Don't know if you're having issues with signal or not, but you were starting to robot on us.
Sorry. I'm a little bit sorry. I'll speak a little slower. Hopefully it'll help too. Okay, but you can have up to, you can fire S abilities more than one time. You just have to have multiple cards with that name.
So multiple cards with the name of the card that has the S ability, and you can keep throwing it off, and as many times as you can discard a card with that name.
Correct.
I'm just, like I said, making sure to repeat that because, like I said, you're breaking up again.
I appreciate it. And then we also have standard units. Standard units are going to be things like red mages, black mages, ninjas, and usually the characters from 3 or 5 or tactics, and you can have as many of those in play as you want because there's no specific named version of that. I can only have one card named Yang available in play, but I can have a monk from 14, I can have monks from 5, I can have monks from tactics, I can have all of them in play as well.
Interesting.
The other fun card that we get are summons. Summons are kind of like sorceries or instants or trainer cards in Pokemon where they're a one-shot thing. You use them and they do something crazy, crazy powerful.
I just found Leviathan here. Summon, X-Burst. All water forwards gain 2,000 power until the end of the turn.
So let's say you have a couple of water forwards and your opponent's like, well, I have an 8,000 power, and your guys are only at 7,000. So if I swing, if you block, you're going to lose one of your forwards. So you swing. Yeah. So instead, you take that damage. Oh, you got a Moogle. That's the draw 1 card and discard 2, or draw 2 and discard 1, I think.
Yeah.
So that Leviathan now buffs all your water forwards because you took it as damage. It's still your opponent's combat step. If they choose to attack you again, now your forwards are more powerful than theirs, so you can block. So that might stop their attack step right from the very beginning.
Nice.
My current Ifrit list that I have, I'm running 12 different Ifrits. One of them says if you discard an Ifrit from your hand, this does 10,000 damage. If you don't, it only deals 5. Well, since I have a fourth of my deck being Ifrits, I almost always have an extra one to discard. So when it comes up as damage, I just destroy something on the board for free.
Whoa.
You guys mentioned looking for cards for Final Fantasy 15. We actually don't have any cards for 15 yet.
But those are supposed to be coming in the next opus?
Either Opus 6 or Opus 7, we're not sure.
Okay.
They actually reset the game when they started with Opus 1. So, Chille, I know you were mentioning, like, Japan has a bajillion cards. It's like, well, yeah, but that's actually the previous game. None of those cards are compatible with this game.
Oh, so it's a totally new game.
Totally new game. Opus 1 through 5 is all we have worldwide. The redesign of this game was actually facilitated by a Magic Pro Tour player. If anybody's a Magic player or has watched Pro Tour, his name is Shota Yasuoka. He played a lot of Esper. He played a lot of black, blue, and white decks. Very good player. And he's now no longer in Pro Tour because he's working with Square Enix on this particular title.
By the way, I have one hero card.
Very cool. What's the hero?
I can never say her name. The from Pharmacy 14. Merylb.
Merylb. Very cool.
Yeah.
So now, if you've noticed, Seyrr and Chille, your guys' cards, they're very much drawn art of Merylb and Raubon.
Yep.
If you look at like the Dark Knight or the monks or the white mages, it's usually kind of the stock art. The in-character creation when you're picking, it's all like, this is what a Lalafell looks like in a white mage robe at level 50. It's that kind of art.
Funny enough, that's all the first page of my folder. Dark Knight, Warrior.
That's awesome.
I just found an Emperor Zandi from Final Fantasy XIV Legendary, and it's definitely like this really cool kind of drawing of him glaring down from his throne.
I run 3 of those.
Neat. I have one.
Now here's the other fun part. Let's take a look at Final Fantasy X. There's Yuna. Yuna is a very formal character. Everybody pretty much knows who Yuna is on site. There are 2 backup Yunas, and there are 2 forward Yunas. You can only have one of them in play because they all have the same name. But one of them is a screenshot. One of them is a screenshot from a full motion video. One of them is her character page art, and then one of them is her concept art. You get all the different art for Yuna, but they're all different cards. They all do different things, but you get all different art with every single one.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, does L mean legendary?
Is what legendary?
L is legendary, isn't it?
Yes, L is legendary.
Oh, I do have a legendary.
Awesome. Which one?
Emperor.
The Emperor Zonde or just the Emperor?
The Emperor. Just the Emperor.
Okay, so that's actually, thank you for that. That's perfect. There are light and dark cards in addition to the 6 elements, the 3 astral and the 3 umbral. Light and dark cards, you can't have a light and a dark in play at the same time. Light and dark can be paid for with any color, and they're usually super powerful, but you can only have 1 light in play or 1 dark in play. And that's why the Emperor, there's 2 different dark ones. One of them is your opponent has no abilities.
Yeah,
none of their characters have abilities. They're just S abilities don't matter. Tap abilities don't matter. Pay crystal points to do this thing doesn't matter. It just shuts everything off. But it costs, I think, 8 to play. It's really difficult to get into play. Does he have 4 cost? I don't remember. There's a lot of cards.
I'm just looking at it now, otherwise I wouldn't know.
Okay, that's fair. There's a Dark Sephiroth. For spoiler alert, by the way, for Final Fantasy VII, every single Aerith is a backup, and every single Sephiroth kills backups.
Wow.
Triggered.
Which is just, it's so poetic and horrible. And as soon as we all saw that, we were all just like groaning, like, oh, that's horrible, but we love it.
Right.
But you get
Foil legendary, Balthier?
Is it the one where he's like kind of sitting on the ground and like staring out and there's airships behind him?
No. It's the one where Fran's behind him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's 3 Balthairs now. The Opus 5, one of the starter decks was Final Fantasy 12. So we got a whole bunch of new Sky Pirate related stuff.
Ah.
So the art comes from a lot of different sources, either the digital, the hand-drawns, Yoshitaka Amano, Tetsuya Nomura, Dissidia. So you have all kinds of different art. Like there's an Ice-type Terra that it's a screenshot from Dissidia. The Terra from Final Fantasy VI is the Amano artwork, and she's a light character.
That's where the crystal is from, right?
Yep. So the crystal characters are all from Dissidia, and if you look at them side by side with their actual cards, you'll notice they're very similar. Like the Capricious Thief can't be blocked by something. I think it's 4 or more or 5 or more, and then the actual Zidane is like 3 or more. So the actual Zidane is better, but the crystal one is a little bit weaker, costs a little bit more, has not quite as great of an ability, but it's basically the same card. It's a weaker version of that card. And then you can repeat that across the Laguna and the Squall and Ultimecia and all the other Dissidia type characters.
Oh my god, there's a Shadow Lord card.
There is a Shadow Lord card. He's really, really annoying to play against.
He's expensive also. He's 20 quid.
Yeah, so the nice thing is for this game, my roommate recently sold one of his commander decks for Magic, and we built a shop and bought a car and paved a driveway and installed an air compressor, and we had money to replace the roof afterwards. He sold one deck. He sold one deck. He actually works in Canada, and he can't bring the deck to Canada with him because it values it too much money, and he can't bring that much cash value back and forth across the border.
Holy crap.
That's kind of insane.
So let's shorten that down to Final Fantasy. The most expensive card is about $30 US, give or take a little bit.
That's a little less insane.
Now, you can only run 3 of it. But if you look at some of the top tier 100-person tournaments, you look at the Crystal Cup, top 8 deck lists, they're sitting around $200 to $300 as far as cost is concerned. You look at legacy Magic decks, and you can buy cards for less money. Like, it's ridiculous how expensive Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And even Pokemon can get to at premier levels.
Remember,
Premier levels of Final Fantasy, $300.
I remember Ultra Balls being £100 each.
Shiny foil Amon, is that any good?
Is it the lightning one that dulls things when it comes into play?
Yes.
Yes, that one's actually, I think it's about $12 or $15 right now.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a neat little game. It's designed by good people. It's set up to feel kind of like a Dissidia-esque game where like you get to pit Final Fantasy characters against each other. But you also sort of get this dream team of like, I'm going to use Queen Braun to, tutor out and find my copy of Steiner. I'm going to use Refia to make all of my water forwards stronger. I'm also running Fire, and I'm going to bring out Furion, and Furion's going to make my Knight stronger, and Steiner is also a Knight. So now all of a sudden, I throw down the Beatrix that goes with him, and Steiner becomes twice as powerful. He doesn't have to dull to attack. He has all these cool abilities because I'm using cards from all over the franchise to help support him.
Cool crossovers. Those are always fun.
For things like Final Fantasy 14, yes, you can run exclusively Final Fantasy 14 cards. It's not going to get you super far, but you can base most of your deck around Final Fantasy 14 and then use all of the good stuff to sort of augment it and help you the rest of the way.
Very cool. So, you also then were kind enough to set up a little thing with the store that you work with when you do all of your decks and your card games. CriticalStrikeGames.com, correct?
CriticalStrikeGames.com is actually one of my local stores. I'm actually literally in the store right now sitting at a table. Everybody's getting ready to draft. We're drafting one pack from each opus tonight, so that ought to be fun. So if you go to CriticalStrikeGames.com, and this is exclusive. This isn't exclusive, but you're only going to know about it if you're listening to this episode. If you put in the coupon code PHXDNRadio, yes, this is exact same as the Twitter handle, and you will get 10% off your first purchase.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And that's good for anything, technically, right?
That is good for anything, but it's good one time only. So if you buy a $3 booster pack, you're getting 30 cents off. That's not worth it. If you want to buy an entire deck list full of singles, you can do that too. And I also wanted to let you guys know that
How long's the
each
code?
one of those coupons, coupon's good forever until Chris decides to get rid of it, which I don't think he's going to do for a while. But if we leave, for everyone that uses that coupon code, we're actually going to be tracking it. And part of that proceeds is actually going to be heading towards supporting Phoenix Down Radio. So get cards and support the show at the same time.
Yep, and
We love you.
And Taliz was cool enough to do that for us without us necessarily asking him to do it, but he asked if he could do it for us. That's how cool of a guy he is. So.
I was like, hey, can I plug my shop? And it's like, well, we're not really, we don't want to do commercials, obviously, but and I said, okay. And then I was like, well, here's the deal. I want to support the show, and I know other people want to support the show, and I want to support the game. So, no, I actually specifically asked for you, Chille. I said, hey, can we deliver to Great Britain? And they're like, why? And I said, because one of my hosts is going to ask, and I want to have an answer at the quick draw. And sure enough, exactly what happened.
Well, I suppose if somebody wants to be really nice, they can maybe go. You can go through them, Chille, and then you can have pay to ship it to
Fine,
you.
I'll order it to Taliz and then Taliz.
There you go.
I was gonna say, Chille, just message me. We'll figure it out.
Right on. All right. So again, that's CriticalStrikeGames.com. Let me put that in the Twitch chat for everybody, and we'll also link it in the show notes as well.
Make sure you put that coupon code of PHXDN Radio to get that discount.
Yeah, support your friendly local game stores,
as well as your favorite Final Fantasy podcast.
Oh, and also Chille, just to throw a little bit more salt in here for you. They do 3 TCGs at this shop, or their 3 biggest sellers. The number 1 is Final Fantasy. The number 3 is Pokemon. Number 2 is Dragon Ball Super.
See, all the things I buy.
Right? This is
Chille?
why we don't play Magic here.
Chille, it sounds like you need to move where Taliz lives.
I have to
Chille,
move
you're moving to Seattle. Let's go, buddy.
There you
Let's
go.
do it.
Oh, whoa, cool. This is cool.
Oh, did you go to the site?
Oh no, I just pulled a Vincent. It's shiny foil legendary. It's really cool artwork.
And you can run a whole bunch of Vincents, and Vincent just does not die. You just keep discarding Vincents from your hand. It's like, oh, he's going to break? Nah, he's fine. And you just leave him alive the entire game.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm on their website, and their playmats for Dragon Ball Super look really cool.
They look really, really cool. I'm very excited that we actually just got those Wednesday? We got them very recently. I'm here a lot. I'm basically store furniture at this point.
I will give...
All right. Any other questions, guys?
Any other questions from the chat or from you guys?
And no, Anatolius, we're not talking about local game stores like Walmart.
That
I can't
also
play
doesn't
Pokemon.
count.
I can't play Pokemon League at Walmart, so I'm going to buy my packs at a game store instead.
Exactly. Support your friendly local game store.
Exactly. I also see the Chille face Antolius.
Yes. I know. I always Anatolius is a special character. We'll just say
I haven't
that.
watched the show in seriously like 3 episodes. I've just been like listening to the podcast, so I don't get access to the chat as often anymore, and I feel like I'm missing like a whole big portion of the show now.
Yeah, well, that and he shows up to a lot of my daily streams as well, so we've got a thing going. So anyway, again, thank you so much, Taliz, for kind of educating all of us on the Final Fantasy trading card game, as well as putting together that special little promo code for people who may want to go through and pick that up. So 10% off their first purchase is really pretty cool. So thank you.
That's insane.
Thank you to Critical Strike Games. Like I said, they're not sponsoring us or anything like that. It's just a really cool thing that they're doing. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course. All right, guys. Well, everybody's got packs in hand. It's time for me to bust out to a draft. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Enjoy the rest of the show. I will catch up on the podcast later this week. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Sounds great, man. Good luck in your draft. Have a good one.
Yugi boy.
Jesus. All right.
It's time to duel. All right, that was a lot of fun. So thank you again, Taliz, for joining us on that. I hope you guys enjoyed that because I had fun with it, and I think we all learned a little bit. All right, so let's continue on with our gaming community news. The next thing that I want to talk about is what I did this past weekend. I attended a local convention, Anime Detour. This is my 3rd year going to that. Cool thing about it, this is where I actually met Aya 2 years ago and was introduced to her. So that was a really cool thing.
1 second, what you said about 2 years. Congratulations on the 2 years at Square Enix, Aya.
Yes. So yeah, her 2 years at Square Enix coincides with the 2 years that we've known her. So just kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So some recap from that. I got to debut my Red Mage cosplay. You can find pictures of that out on my Twitter account at phxdn_Klauss. It turned out pretty good, for a first iteration. My sister did an amazing job on that hat. That hat is fucking pimp. Some other pieces still need some work. The whole thing overall can use improvement. But like I said, it was the first iteration. People recognized it. They liked it. So
I mean, for a red mage, if you get the hat right, you're most of the way there.
Exactly.
Yeah, once you got the hat, that's it. There's nothing. You're like, oh, okay, you're a red mage.
Yeah. Well, I had some people who didn't really understand what Final Fantasy was. They're like, "Oh, are you like Captain Morgan?" Like, no. Which it was kind of funny.
That's good.
It was kind of funny. Thank you, Arantheos. I agree. Thank you for saying that it looked pretty good. There's a few more pictures that were available. There was also a Final Fantasy photo shoot, which had a number of people from different Final Fantasy games show up, and we took a whole bunch of pictures there. I'm going to post the Twitter link for that. It actually will take you to the Facebook album that I created for it on my page. There's a bunch of pictures in there. And later on in a couple of weeks, I will actually be getting some more professional style photo shoot pictures that I took with the con photographers. I'm really looking forward to those. And when I get those in, I will download those and I will share those with everybody so you guys can take a real look at it. We got some more action-y style shots, and he did some really cool things with the lighting. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing those. Other things that happened, I actually got to meet a bunch of other Final Fantasy XIV players. I was able to give out a whole bunch of different cards and buttons to people. And hopefully we found some new listeners. Hopefully some of them are listening now. So if you are, and I met you at Anime Detour, it was awesome meeting you, and hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Another cool thing, I discovered that the group that puts on Anime Detour, a group called Anime Twin Cities, they actually have an official Final Fantasy XIV group on the Goblin server. They are the Knights Lunarius. I talked with them, and hopefully we'll be doing some crossover work in the near future, because they're actually looking at starting up their own podcast. And I told them we've been doing this for about 2.5 years, and I think it would be cool to work together, and help each other out a little bit.
I've been doing it for longer.
Yes, Chille, you have.
I think it's like 7 years now.
And then Fusion's all like, yeah, well, I've been doing it a lot longer than that. So.
And then Don't Break Radio would come out and like, I've been doing it even longer than that.
Actually, I think they were doing it about the same time.
Yeah, probably. It was Pet Food, if I'm rightly.
Pet Food Alpha?
Yeah, Pet Food Alpha. I used to listen to it on when I played Final Fantasy 11. When I could anyway, because that 56k modem.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what a podcast was back then.
I knew what it was, and I visit the site more often than anything, but I listened all the time just because I couldn't be bothered.
Then I got some cool swag. Like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I picked up 4 new Dissidia Theatrhythm plushies. They actually have a number, like 14 of them from the Dissidia Theatrhythm game, 1 through 14. So now I am up to half of them. What I picked up this time was Cloud, Lightning, Shantoto, and Cecil.
Hey, Shantoto.
Yes.
Shantoto's the best one out of all of them.
I found a copy of the Final Fantasy 11 Plus OST. So now when we play some songs, you might hear some stuff from Play Online.
No, please no.
That takes me back.
Dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun.
No, Bible.
Oh my god, I just got shivers remembering it. That's weird.
I found in the art room
I'm back.
there was a dealer that was selling handmade. Hello? Yeah, we hear you.
No, I think I knocked out my mic.
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear
Oh,
you.
no, I turned my headset round.
Well, that's
Oh my god, Chille.
leave it to Chille, folks. I picked up some Final Fantasy 1 pixel art magnets that are really cool. I got Warrior, Black Mage, White Mage, Red Mage, and Thief. They didn't have Monk to go with it. Hopefully next year they'll have that one so I can have the complete set.
Clearly, you should have gotten 4 white mages and done the 4 white mage challenge.
No, we all know you should just got 4 red mages.
It's always about the 4 Red Mage party,
That's like the easiest one.
but also the awesomest one.
Well, except possibly 4 monks is not necessarily easiest, but it is simplest.
And then I also picked up a brand new IRL Stormblood Glamour. AKA, I bought a kimono. A really, really, really nice kimono.
Thank you, Fair Eyes.
Chille best host.
Yeah.
All right. And I know some other people have expressed interest in maybe joining up next year. So if you're interested, next year's detour has already been announced for March 29th through 31st. And that's going to be at the Hyatt downtown Minneapolis. So if you are interested, I know Kane has expressed interest. You can save those dates. And then check out animedetour.com for the announcement when the tickets will go on sale to the general public.
I just want to go to Seattle now to go to that Critical Strikes game store.
That sounds like an amazing place as well. So yeah, I had a great time on all of that. And like I said, as soon as I get more pictures back from that photographer, I plan on showing those to everybody. So yeah, that was my weekend. I put in almost 90,000 steps. So
That's a lot of steps.
I was very sore.
I bet you hatched a load of Pokemon.
Actually, I didn't. I didn't have my phone out all that much.
Oh, such a waste.
Because I was too busy
Look at
admiring.
me, I'm Klauss. I got exercise and made connections that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, instead of hatching
But I didn't
Pokemon.
Pokemon, so no.
I did a little bit of Pokemoning, but I also kept the streak alive and I streamed every day.
Yeah.
My God, that hotel room was amazing. We actually got upgraded to a suite.
Oh, well.
So it was normally the hotel rooms are about 325, 350 square feet. A suite is like 625 square feet. And there was a separate bedroom and living room area.
Was it in fact pretty sweet?
It was hella sweet. But
if your suite is in hell, you should probably ask to be changed.
But no, it was really nice. Had a great time. It's a really nice hotel. This is their first year moving it from the old location to the Hyatt downtown. So it was a lot of fun. All right, so let's talk about some Final Fantasy at PAX. While I was at Detour, Square Enix was at PAX East, and they had some really cool Final Fantasy 15 announcements. For those who are interested, they did announce a second season of DLC for 2019, which includes four new episodes. Well, 3 and a special. Episode 1 is Arden, the Conflict of the Sage. There's a special one for Aranea, the beginning of the end. It's not actually a numbered episode, because episode 2 is Lunafreya, the Choice of Freedom. And episode 3 is Noctis, the Final Strike. And those are going to be coming out at the end of 2018 through mid-2019.
It's sad that the first one's the only one I really care about.
Arden?
Yeah. I like the character, so I want to see more of his backstory.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm actually interested on the Lunafreya one as well.
This will be season 2.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it'll be the third set of stuff going into the game. You know, there was the original game, then there was season 1, and then season 2.
Yeah.
They also announced that Comrades was getting summer and winter 2018 updates, as well as they were releasing a standalone version of that game. So in the future, you will not have to own Final Fantasy 15 in order to play Comrades. I don't know if they're going to sell it for a cheaper price or if they're maybe going to make it a free-to-play thing to get people involved. They didn't say that.
They already sell it, so maybe they'll just have it as a separate download.
You're right. If you don't have the season pass, it was $20.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that was basically the cost of the season pass.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or was it $25 for the season pass?
$25 was the season pass.
So yeah,
and then,
for $5 more, you get the season pass, and that included Comrades and all that other stuff.
That's why I'm saying that the next season pass will probably be a lot cheaper. The only reason why this was so expensive was because of Comrades. True.
So $15 maybe for the next season pass. They didn't announce a price that I saw.
I'm gonna guess like 12 to 15.
Well, for you maybe.
Well, no, I'm thinking $12 to $15.
Okay.
Just because, season pass is normally a little bit of a discount, isn't it?
It depends on what the developer wants to sell it for and how much of a cash grab they're actually going for.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
15 with loot boxes. Woo!
That's called Dissidia.
Well, if they want to go like for all the new stuff, then we could have Final Fantasy 15 Battle Royale.
Where you build stuff and then destroy it. and then you fish in the middle of it. First one to catch the biggest catch wins.
I'm just happy we don't have the Final Fantasy Heroes MOBA yet. I mean, technically it would work because you already have all the characters made.
All right, continuing on, they also announced a crossover event coming up with the new Tomb Raider game.
My Hero MOBA still sounds less crazy.
Yet they did not announce when the Final Fantasy 14-15 crossover is going to happen. Still.
When Eureka is finished.
Yeah, I mean, like, is there any actual plan for
They were
maybe there wasn't, I just missed it.
They talked about it, but there has been no official announcement that yes, there is going to be one. They're saying that they want to do one, but this was a while ago.
And they always have the caveat of if they can make it work reasonably with all the other stuff.
Instead, they decided to throw in another copy of Yokai Watch.
Serious again?
Well, Hino and Yoshida are pretty good friends. They did have that interview on Dengeki where they were drinking
can't they
again.
just go get tattoos together? Do they have to do this?
Well, maybe they've got tattoos after the interview. Who knows?
Oh.
By the way, before we finish talking about, I do like the fact that I still think that the new relics are named the achievement is probably nod to 15.
I don't
because
know.
it's if you've looked at I can't find out on this character because I don't have any relics on this character, but the relics from Eureka.
Right.
I swear the achievement is a nod to 15.
I don't recall what it is off the top of my head, so
I've got it.
I'm looking at the achievement list.
Oh, it's called I've Got It?
Yeah, I've got it, and then the weapon name.
Yeah, I've got it. Calibalga Nemos.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
I've come up with a new relic weapon.
No, it's Snass's finger. That's it.
Yeah.
I've come up with a new recipe.
Yeah, that's what he says. So,
right, Chille.
I've done it.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
But not I've got it.
Yeah. But E for effort.
I mean, if they were going to try to make that reference, I'm pretty sure they would actually look it up to try to get it right.
Truth.
True.
This part was very cool. They announced level editor and mod support coming for the PC version this year. So they are going to be 100% supporting mods on the Final Fantasy 15 Windows version.
They did announce that when 15 came out, and then they did give a warning saying the fact that though we'll be supporting it, please don't do anything too offensive.
Yeah, I mean, like, the moment that there's a mod available, there's going to be some non-trivial number of gay men who insist on having a version where everyone is naked and is sporting giant boners constantly.
Yeah, don't stream that version.
I don't quite understand the appeal of that myself, but
and if you're interested in that, not the boners running around, but having mod support, and you have a PC that's beefy enough to support it, it's actually on sale on Steam right now for $33.50. So if you have not gotten Final Fantasy 15, or you've been eyeing it for Windows and didn't want to pay the full $50 price, you can get it on Steam right now for $33.50. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm not sure if the sale is still going on, but you can always check it out.
There's almost a 350 joke in there.
Yeah, that's almost a...
I'll give him $1.
God damn it! Can't give him $1, okay, coming back!
All right. Enough 15 shenanigans. There were a lot of 15 cosplayers at that photo shoot, though. We actually took some pictures where there were 3 different Ignises, and they were all fighting over the coffee drink. It was amazing, actually. There was also some Final Fantasy 14 news that came out of PAX East. There was an interview done with Natsuko Ishikawa and John Crow, done by Gamer Escape. I believe this was done after their panel at PAX. I'm copying and pasting that into the Twitch chat. Like I said, this will also be included in the show notes for the podcast for those of you who are not joining us live. Go ahead, check that out.
Quick reminder for the listeners, who is John Crow and Natsuko Ishikawa?
Sure, you had to put me on the spot there. I believe Natsuko Ishikawa is the lead main scenario writer, and John Crow is the localization lead for NA. I believe that's correct. Let me click on the link and find out for sure. Damn it, Seyrr.
Hey, you need to establish
Yes,
relevance.
that's correct. Main scenario writer Natsuko Ishikawa and English localization lead John Crow. See, I knew it. I just couldn't recall it off the top of my head. Terrible person, I know.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, wait, what?
And then Chille's favorite bit of news was also leaked at PAX East. Male bunny suits.
Well, they were announced in the first, 2 years ago. At
2
PAX,
years
so-
at PAX. Yep. So 2 years later, we finally get them.
Oh, I can't wait. I already know the glamour I want.
Let's do
Spoilers.
time.
It's going to be Dr. Frankenfurter. It's going to be the best.
I mean, that does seem like the right glamour for this.
Yeah.
All right. How about that gotcha roundup, Seyrr?
Oh, so nothing super exciting at the moment. Record Keeper is finishing up its last days of the 3rd anniversary. A lot of the events for that have closed, but there's still a couple open. And if you still have your gem selection to do, you should go around and get to it. They do have Final Fantasy 12 and 10 events ongoing at the moment. Now, some recent data mining did find that we're going to be finally getting some of those long-delayed events and improvements, including the daily missions for Mithril, a FF1 Mobius collaboration, and a Final Fantasy Dimensions event. That, at this point, a lot of people just expected, oh, we are never going to get that.
Well, weren't the daily missions already implemented?
Yeah, but then there was like a return of them or something like that.
No, like there was just an
usual thing
announcement in this week.
Might have been thinking of something else then, but I know that there was a big to-do about this one.
Yeah, there's something in the news within the game talking about daily missions.
Okay, I think it was just the FF1 stuff and the Dimension stuff.
I mean,
Because
it's
I know
still
the-
new, but it's here now.
The Dimensions is a especially big deal because Moro is one of the ones who was considered somewhat similar to Shulk in terms of being an excellent support for Magicites. Mobius did have the Defeat Lightning multiplayer event they had was a big success. They are distributing the prizes now. This includes something like 800,000 of each skill seed type, summon tickets, and a couple other nice things. So make sure to log in and get those if you haven't.
Yep.
Their boosted Greater Summon now features the PsyCom Officer job, which is a Maya job based off of Jill Nabat from Final Fantasy 13. So anyone who likes that cruel, bespectacled, feel free to test your luck on that. The second part of the Lightning Resurrection event and the Battle Tower Challenge are going to be coming soon.
Yeah, I just finished the first part this morning, and have to grind a little bit more. Trying to think of what the crystals, so I can continue to go out and build up my my levels a little bit more.
Yep, it uses a system much like the Crystarium and Paradigms of Final Fantasy 13, which does make for a fun little change-up.
Yep, so I got to get more CP so I can unlock more stuff.
Yep. Then in Opera Omnia, the Ferris event started a day or two ago. Unfortunately, Ferris isn't really seen as a particularly strong character. The next event is going to feature Ramza, who, as usual for these things, is a top-class unit with excellent support skills.
Better fix that.
Hold up, Seyrr. Sorry. Nicknar, thank you so much for that 1,000-bit cheer. Greatly appreciate that, sir.
Shit, that's amazing.
That is amazing, sir. Thank you. And he needed to nab that #1 spot back from Kane. Kane, you want to top that? By all means, we're not going to stop you.
Are you making them fight for our love again?
Yes.
Oh,
don't
seems
tell
legit.
that.
That's how love works. That's how love works, right?
Sorry to interrupt, Seyrr. Go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. Much thanks to all of you guys for your continual support.
We love it.
Mm-hmm. And the World of Illusions has opened up. Currently has materials for Ramu, the Lightning Summon that does provide a strong defense when you've been injured. So with this, you're going to have, we've had opportunities for the basic trio of Ifrit, Shiva, and Ramu.
Woo.
And in Brave Exvius, the new Conspiracy to the Throne event starts today, and that features the unit intro for Nameless Gunner Jake, as well as other Soldadian characters. The Final Fantasy X Mount Gogazet event is ongoing, along with the boosted summon rates for Yuna, Seymour, Waka, and Lulu, though that's been going for about a
I'd
week now
rather
at this
troll
point.
Seyrr
So
about episode
hopefully
72
get the
and
stuff that you
Windsor
want to get from that
Knots.
soon. You know this is never last.
Oh, Kane. Kane put in 110 more, and he goes, I'd rather troll Seyrr about episode 72 and Windsor Knots. And going with that, he's now cheered a total of 666.
Oh my gosh, you people.
Oh, that's amazing, guys. We love you all.
Good times.
Yay. Okay, so you were talking about blah, 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 Brave Exvius, nobody cares?
Someone ostensibly cares. One thing I did when I was looking into that, they do have the unit intro for events, which I think is actually kind of fun idea. In events where a particular unit is introduced into the gacha, they have a couple stages where you actually get to use that unit in your party. So you get a little bit of an idea of how they play and can think more about, hey, is this something that you'd like to have?
Gotcha. But
yeah, I wasn't going to go there.
That wasn't, I wasn't trying for
I
it.
was going to not go there.
Gotcha. All right, thank you for that.
And yet, if I kill him, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, and we lose the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That too. So yeah, again, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, an event happening on your server, maybe a real life meetup, something like that going on, let us know. Podcast@phoenixstarradio.com. We'll be more than happy to talk about it. Or if you just want to come on and talk about something, or let us know about something, again, just email us. Hit us up on Twitter at PHXDNRadio. However you want to get a hold of us. And yeah, we're more than happy to have you on. So, it's really slow. And unfortunately, because of what was supposed to have been a work shift tomorrow, having us move the podcast before the live letter, boo.
Which is in 7 hours.
Yeah, less than 8 hours from now. And there's not really any other big news to talk about within Final Fantasy XIV. We are really in that pre-patch lull again, guys.
I think we've done pretty well, though, considering.
Well, we've had a lot of Pazuzu farming to do. Speaking of which, is he up yet? Somebody check that out?
By the way, I know this sounds weird, but I found out the thing that possesses the girl in Exorcist is actually Pazuzu.
What?
Huh.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah, I was watching
I
was watching is the Omen something like prequel to Exorcist, and he was talking about how the girl was possessed by a wind demon named Pazuzu.
Ooh, so Seyrr, next week or next episode, Pazuzu lore.
If you really want. Sure.
Yes.
And we can spend the entire
inflict so much trauma on all of our listeners.
And then we can spend the entire episode asking, is Pazuzu up?
Is Pazuzu up?
And asking for a group and trying to kill wraiths.
Pazuzu chew.
I choose you. Anyway, sorry.
No one chooses you, Pazuzu.
So
He only chooses you.
This is something we've been trying to figure out what we wanted to do for a discussion topic, and we've been throwing this idea around for the last 2 weeks. I know it was talked about on Moo Go Round, and it was talked about on She Heals, I Tank this past week. So I'm sorry, guys, we're not trying to steal the same ideas as you, but...
Yeah, how dare you steal my podcast idea that I suggested?
Yeah, the one that you suggested to us before you did it on your other podcast.
Well, yeah, come on with this. The fact that we thought about the game is improvement.
That was amazing, the fact that you actually did talk about the game. You talked about so much other stuff on that show. My God. How dare you? You're such a different person on that show. I'm sorry to sidetrack here, but you are so much different on Moo Go Round than you are here. Maybe it's because I'm not there to hold you in.
Yeah. Well, it's a different audience.
It is. It really is. And it's just funny. You're just a very different Chille. You think you're listening to that sweet, innocent Chille, you know, the same one you get on PlayStation Unchained.
Yeah.
But on Moogle Round, you and Paul, you.
Hey, at least you don't listen to our raid. Trust me, if I streamed that raid, I think I'd be banned from Twitch.
Well, as long as you've got that explicit mark checked, you're okay.
Oh no, I think we'd be banned.
It's like, yeah, we know you marked as explicit, but in this case, we're making an exception.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So anyway, we are going to go into some wild speculation on what are they on A, what are they going to discuss in the live letter this morning? And B, what types of things are we going to see in the next patch? So we kind of wrote down some ideas on the things we want to talk about and the things we want to speculate on. And guys, if you want to join us and speculate on things, feel free to jump into the Discord. The link is below the chat channel or below the stream. Or you can go, the easy way to get to it is phoenixdownradio.com/Discord in your browser. And then you can just click on that and it'll bring you into the Phoenix Down Radio Discord channel.
Just remember, the more baseless and inflammatory, the better.
I had a theory for the storyline of 4.3.
Okay, well, let's try and see if we can't get them to join us in here. If you want to join us, just then jump into the call-in channel, and we'll be monitoring that, and we'll get you on the show. You can talk about the things.
We'll drag you up.
Yes, we will drag you in, kicking and screaming even. But so let's start with some main scenario quest speculation. Did you have anything in main scenario you wanted to speculate on to start with, Chille?
Yeah, I want to speculate. To be fair, I don't want to go serious, just in case we do spoil something by accident.
Yeah.
So well, how exactly would it be a spoiler? We don't know.
I don't know, but in case we guess it right, I'm going to go completely off bonkers.
You do you, Chille.
Tatu goes after finding out how much the Alpha Node spent on the sword. Tatu actually starts going crazy and then starts killing off scions that she finds are useless.
Bye, Minfilia. Nice knowing you. Wait, she's already gone. Well, no, she's gonna travel back to the tower, and she's gonna go into the Mother Crystal, and she's gonna smash the doorway.
I'm still saying that Minfilia will be back eventually.
Eventually.
Oh yeah, I expect so as well.
Well,
do we think this would be the patch where she comes back then?
No, I think that'll be left for
5 point something.
I think that'll be left for the final patch. Yeah, that'll be the twist.
She's going to send us to the moon.
Well, no, I think something will happen that will attack Garlemald, and we'll actually lose, and we're about to die, and then something protects us, and we find out it's Minfilia.
No, she's going to send us to the moon.
Straight to the moon, darling.
All right.
I have no idea what you were even trying to go for with that.
Bang, zoom.
I get the straight to the moon, but the darling part.
I don't know.
It's Chille. What do we need to know?
I forgot the quote halfway through it.
It's bang, zoom, right to the moon.
That legendary cosmonaut.
Yes. First thing that I was wondering about is, will the Warrior of Light and Asahi actually trade blows during the previously proposed prisoner exchange?
So, I mean, I had gone... At first I thought, okay, they're setting up to be kind of this, like, person in the shadows type thing. I actually hadn't even initially expected him to fight that much until we had that scene where we're defending the kids in the on the pathway. I
mean, the one that he set up?
Yes. I mean, yes, we know that. But my point is, I hadn't even expected that he would be a combatant.
Well, I'm betting that there's going to be something that happens. They're going to try and goad us into it and make us look like bad guys.
Yeah.
You know,
but I mean,
a la patch 2.55.
But I do get the impression that he is going to want to fight. Like, he's made it clear that this is personal for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going to say something. We're going to react the way that we would normally react, and it's going to be seen from the outside as the Eorzean contingent attacking the Garleans unprovoked, and it's going to cause an escalation in war, in fighting.
I'm actually expecting them to start the aggression. with the expectation that they can take us all out, and that like you can speak without fear of contradiction if you eliminate all other witnesses.
No,
Okay.
I think they'll provoke us in some way and make us look like we attacked, even though technically they attacked first.
Mm-hmm. That's my guess, and I know Pete kind of mentioned the same thing, but I mean, you know, it's a very good plot point to make the good guys look like the bad guys. I mean, you see it in a lot of hit movies, a lot of shows.
I mean, that's the thing. You see it a lot. There's part of me that feels like, hey, this is something that has been done a lot, and I don't want them to just repeat that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it seems like a standard go-to trope.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's my problem with it. It is a standard go-to trope.
Which is why
I think if they do it, though, no, but I think if they do it, they'll do it slightly different than the normal tropes.
Okay. How about Yotsuyu?
Go with that.
Will she get her memory back this patch?
That's who I think will cause it.
You think that the fighting will cause it, or do you think maybe that mirror?
She'll be the cause of the fighting.
Oh, you think that her getting her memory back will cause escalate?
She'll continue pretending that she doesn't have the memories, and then backstab. But by the fact that she's and then we'll attack back, and it'll look like we're attacking someone innocent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you think that that's going to end up being the cause?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see this ending without Yotsuyu getting back her memory at some point or another.
But I mean,
but I guess the question I would have there would be like,
when does she actually get it back?
Yeah, and I mean, does she decide that, hey, to go ahead and go for the betrayal, to go for the backstab?
Yeah.
Like, party wonders if the experiences she's had with Gosetsu might actually end up changing her mind.
Yeah, she might end up pulling Fordola as well, and you know, after she gets her memory back, she might actually end up going good.
That does seem to be the power, like the biggest power of the Warrior of Light, to convince their enemies to be like, okay, I guess.
Well, I mean,
I kind of hope we don't.
I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily want to see a forgiveness path for every single one of our enemies.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean,
there's always the death equals redemption trope, as long as we're going for tropes that have been done a lot.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, even so, death isn't always a permanent thing. Look at Xenos.
Not in this game.
What role is he going to play in the next patch?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, why didn't we go and actually check the corpse? We should have known better.
My question is,
we burn the corpse?
Why did we give it back to the Garleans?
My understanding is we didn't.
So how the hell did he get back to Garlemald? Did he walk?
I thought there was a line said that suggested that someone had been like messing around at the gravesite.
Did he teleport there?
Like
he released?
Like, someone went and dug up the grave, kind of thing.
I actually think it's echo magic.
Maybe he just decided to home point.
Yeah. What if he did? What? I mean, the echo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that's the reason why Xenos is still alive. Is his version of the echo is keeping him from being able to die, just like us.
Because I thought that the echo had the ability for people to reincarnate if they die.
Well, not necessarily reincarnate, but they don't actually die. They just become unconscious.
Well,
that's the story that we get.
I mean, the thing is, the echo takes on like a lot of different forms. It's like the general thing is it gives you like the ability to break down barriers. In some cases, this means like barriers of communication, and you can understand all of the languages. Like, there's a lot of different forms that it takes.
Yeah.
So we don't really know a lot about the nature of his echo.
That's true. But I mean, if it acts in a similar fashion to ours, I mean, not exactly like, but I mean, that could explain why he didn't actually die when he slit his own throat.
Right.
But
was that part of the plan?
Yeah. But I mean, so what, I guess the biggest question is, what role is he going to play? Is he going to end up just marching back to Doma or to All Amigo and be like, bitches, I'm going to fuck some shit up again?
He wants a rematch. He wants to feel that again.
He got himself a new driver and he's got to try it out.
Give me the thrill of battle.
He's going to become a warrior? No?
No.
No. Okay.
It's going to be sad because Monk now out DPS is Samurai. And he's going to change to Monk.
That could be
Has
a
little
thing.
spinning thing of knuckles that he punches his fist into and pulls one out.
I would pay money to see that. Oh, that'd be amazing.
What's going to be our next expert dungeon? Where are we going to go next? We're only getting one, so it's going to be story related. Where's it going to take us?
I feel like it's going to need to be somewhere in Othard. Like a lot of because looking at the list here, what have we had? So we've had so we started off with Alamigo, of course, and then Kugane Temple, Kugane Castle, the Temple of the Fist, Drowned City of Scala, Hell's Lid, and Fractal Continuum Hard.
Yep.
So that's most of them have been in the west, either in the Alamigo region or that one in Asaslaw, of course, but that was the hard mode, and this is going to be a new one.
Yep.
And part of me is actually maybe thinking, I've been wondering off and on about the House of the Crooked Coin and about Heaven on High. I know we've speculated Heaven on High as the next deep dungeon.
The big tower in the Ruby Sea?
Yeah.
Yep. Heaven on High is the absurdly tall tower that I'm pretty sure is like an elegant space elevator.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking we're probably not going to get that as a dungeon. Just for the simple fact that one of the last dungeons we got was in that zone as well.
Hell's Lid, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then the other one on the Azim Step, the House of the Crooked Coin, is another one that's kind of leapt out at me.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. Otherwise, I mean, could we get something in Yangsha?
Maybe something related to the rebuilding of the Dome and Enclave?
Possibly.
What about that weird boat thing?
Which weird boat thing?
Yeah, the one that's sort of on the mountains.
That's on Alagiri, that area?
Yeah.
Nuncraft's Hope.
In the fringes, yeah.
Yeah. Not in the fringes, in the peaks.
Oh, peaks, yes, sorry.
So, just as a quick reminder, that is the boat that Nunkref supposedly gathered up a batch of people in order to escape the rising floodwaters of the sixth Umbral era, isn't it? Yes.
Yep,
The sixth
during the
Umbral
War
era.
of the Magi.
Yes, at the end, as the waters were rising, he gathered up a bunch, came to Eorzea to try to help out rescue people, ended up gathering a bunch of people, and it ended up on their, like, there was it cast some kind of teleportation spell that may have been something similar to the flow spell that Ishtola cast way back when. And I mean, like, the entire thing is kind of a Noah's Ark allegory here.
I mean, that's entirely possible. I mean, we could get some storyline behind that, and that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I could see that being one, and because I don't think we have a dungeon in that zone.
Not that I know. Oh, Castor Mabania, technically.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But that
Well,
was a
I mean,
storyline one, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, in general, it's not a one dungeon per zone limit.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
just thinking.
Central Highlands has Snowcloak and the.
But they generally spread them out a little bit. They don't put them one after the other in the same zone.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you're not going to ever get another dungeon in the Ruby Sea, but like I said, they'll spread it out to some of the others generally, so they don't feel left
Right.
out.
Yeah, well, I mean, is there any zone that doesn't have a dungeon at this point?
No, I think they all do.
Yeah.
Yep. Even Kugane does.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Anything else in the main scenario that you guys wanted to speculate on?
So this is something that Moose and I have talked about a bit. He brings this up a lot. So the entire thing between the Populares and the Optimates, and Asahisas Brutus being part of it, that reflects a lot of real-world history. In Rome, there was actually a faction war between groups that refer to themselves as the Populares and the Optimates, with very similar philosophies. The big thing is that Brutus was an Optimates, not a Populares. And so the fact that they have a character with that last name who is on the other side is really, really weird, given how often they tend to do like, hey, let's do this neat historical reference, that they completely swapped it. For those who don't understand, necessarily follow the importance of this, he actually came up with a fairly good metaphor for it. Where was it? Let's see, talking about foreshadowing. Here we are. It's like naming one team Jedi and the other team Sith, and then making one of the Jedi leadership Vader.
Okay.
Like if you just gave them that names, anyone who's looking at it is going to be like, this is weird. What's going on here?
Mm.
And so whatever, like, he gave us a lot of information about the internal situation of Garlemald. And I don't know if he would have risked telling us complete lies that could have been found out if we had our own spies in there, especially if he's a diplomat and he knows about spying. But I'm prepared for important details to be wrong and for that to bite us in the ass.
Well, maybe Yugiri is going to come up with some information, at the beginning of 4.3 to straighten that part out for us.
Like it's
for those
so
who don't follow the that line in the lore behind the naming conventions.
But I mean, it's so blatant and something they're usually so careful about that it's like it feels like there's something there, and I just don't know what.
Well, something to think about. Chille, do you have anything else in the main scenario that you wanted to totally wildly speculate about?
No, not really, I guess.
All right, so let's jump into some of the...
I just wanted to mention Tattoo.
Tattoo killing everybody? Yes, because they're now broke. Side quests. So who will our next primal be? Suzaku or Seiryu?
I mean, they're not primals, they're auspices.
Yeah, well...
Important difference.
For the mechanics of the game, it's a primal fight, damn it.
Yeah.
It's a trial.
It's a primal fight. Who we getting?
There are trials that are primal fights, like the one against Nidhogg. Or like both Steps of Fate, actually.
Okay. Who will our next trial be against? Which auspice?
Thank you. Now Suzaku. You get it.
Yeah, and I get it.
I'm kind of leaning Suzaku as well, just because I feel like having Seiryu the dragon being like the final one seems like the kind of like climactic thing to end it on.
Is Suzaku summer as well? Or south?
So Suzaku is the vermilion bird, I believe, yes. No, I want to say... Let's see, Genbu is the north. I believe Suzaku is the south, yes.
So, I mean, it would make sense then for the fact that, we're going into the summer patch.
Suzaku, Bird Guardian of the South. I just Googled it.
So, I mean,
yeah.
If they wanted to go thematically that way, that's a possibility.
I mean, that's not a bad way to think about it, actually. I mean, when exactly did Byakko drop? Because he's the one for...
Technically, Byakko dropped in winter.
Okay. But
I believe.
The winter one would have been Genbu, and Genbu's part of... I mean, technically, Genbu dropped then as well.
Yeah, Genbu dropped as well.
Yep. So then Byakko would be spring?
I believe so.
So yeah, then it would make sense to do summer, then fall.
I guess it makes sense because it would have been, Dark Patch covered technically the end of winter and spring, so by dropping both in the same one.
Yep. So we fight one as a dungeon boss, the second one we fight as a trial.
I find that weird because that means, isn't there going to be wouldn't the fourth one have to be like this version of Kirin?
No, there won't be a fourth one. They'll only do 3.
I mean, that's the thing. There is kind of a fourth one. It's the one that's sealed up.
Yeah,
it's the one that we are desperately trying to keep from being released.
So the bets. My bet is we're gonna when we finish all of this, it's gonna lock it. We're either gonna do one of two things. You're gonna lock it back up and save the day, or we end up getting a 4.6 and all shit breaks loose and we fight them.
I mean, they've said this patch cycle may run a bit longer than the others, so that's a definite possibility.
Well, I think it'll be. I don't even think it'll be a proper trial like we have. I think it'll be
A single player instance?
No, I don't think it. I actually think it'll be. There won't be a story version. It'll just be an extreme.
They don't do just the extremes though. There always is a story version.
I could see having the wandering minstrel telling a tale
That's
of
what
like
I mean.
all of the auspices going nuts and ending with this like extra one. Kind of like the Savage version of the the Delta and Sigma Scape fights adds on that extra fight.
Maybe this is going to be not the next one, but the ultimate after for 4.5.
Like the ultimate, the equivalent of the ultimate Coil of Bahamut.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
We're supposed to be getting another ultimate sausage next patch, aren't we?
Yeah, that's the thought. I mean, if it's I don't know if it's coming 4.3 or 4.35, but the next ultimate is supposed to be coming in this patch cycle.
I want to say 4.35 just because I feel like it's too soon still.
Probably. I think didn't the other one come in 4.15?
Yeah, I think so.
So.
Plus, we haven't even heard of anything, so I don't know what it'll be. Is it going to be? I really hope it's not just Alexander.
It probably will be.
I kind of I mean, Alexander, they've had more time to like make much more complex things, do all the fun stuff with it. But I do kind of hope for like an ultimate thing facing off against all the auspices, along with Koryu.
So we could see that for 4.5x.
Yeah.
So, but what do we? So then, what do we think about for 4.3x? What's going to be the next ultimate tier? Like I said, my bet is on Alexander, just because. What would be cool though is if we get a proper Warring Triad.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like all the Triad at once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That would be the best option.
That would be pretty amazing.
That would be good to end. But the problem with that'd be great for this tier, a mega tier in a way. Have it be in all the Warring Triad and then end with Kefka.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, we've already had Kefka, though.
Yeah, but we already had the Warring Triad.
Yeah, and we already had Bahamut.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about as an ultimate or just as a...
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm talking about the ultimate. You fight the Triad, and you don't actually kill them. He absorbs them, then you fight Kefka.
That could be pretty cool.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of cool things that could happen with that.
Like Kefka fighting along with the power of the Warring Triad.
Yeah. I like the speculation we're coming up with here, guys. I mean, I didn't even think of that until just a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It would be pretty amazing.
Copyright Seyrr.
Curses!
Well, until you realize that they've been thinking about that for...
Copyright Seyrr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't public, so how do we know if it was copyrighted?
Because it might have already been copyrighted by the Japanese. Have you checked the Japanese Copyright Office yet? Have you?
No, but just in case, copyright Seyrr.
That's not how copyright works, and you know it.
Technically, it is.
You have to go file that copyright now.
Nope, registration helps, but it's not actually legally required. It's more useful for proving that a copyright existed.
Yeah, but
I just copyright lawed you in the face.
However, if they copyrighted it before the timestamp on this podcast, they still win.
Well, yes, but I couldn't do anything about it at that point. So I might as well do this, and then I'm it's the safest option. See,
Phoenix Sound Radio, your copyright law. Never mind.
It's like you did not count on my combined intimate knowledge of copyright law and willingness to be absolutely ridiculous.
No, well, we know you're ridiculous, but okay. So let's go back to everybody's favorite thing right now, Eureka. Are we going to get an expansion upon Eureka in this patch phase?
Yes and no.
You're going to need to explain that.
Yes, but I think it'll be announced for this patch phase.
But they're going to push it back?
They'll tease it and then they'll push it back.
I think that they have a plan. Yeah. I'm assuming at this point that they have the development steady and they're able to put it out at regular intervals. Like I said, they just had to do minor tweaks in order to add it into the game at this point. They're not still doing major development pieces.
Well, they are in a way because they're talking about adding
Updates to the Magia board.
The fidget spinners. They're changing that a little bit.
Yeah, maybe that was their plan all along, is to introduce it as a very basic thing to start with, so we can learn it, and then they'll change it as everything. Yeah, it's gonna be an ever evolving system. Who knows?
Well, what I'm talking about is the fact that they're adding a level sync to it, so that way when you level sync to a fate, you still keep your 5 elemental points.
Yep, you'll drop.
What level you are.
You will lose them based on what level you sync to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope. Yeah, and I understand why they would do that, because they don't want fates to die after 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous for low levels who like can't get to them in time.
Yeah,
they're just dead.
I'm still like level 5.
Yeah, and it's basically what's going to end up happening at that point is you're no longer going to be able to Zerg number down before he casts all those void cracks, and so you're going to actually have to do mechanics again, people.
Oh my god! But mechanics are for cars.
I have a macro says that.
All right, so you think they're just going to make incremental patch changes to Eureka?
I think we might see an actual new zone, but I don't know if we'll see it this patch. I think we'll see that next patch.
Oh, I am definitely expecting new zones. I mean, just the name alone.
No, but are we going to get it in this 4.3x series?
Yeah, like I can pretty much guarantee new zones just from the naming scheme and what they've set up.
Yeah, but that's a given.
So, I mean, that I feel like comes down to sort of how long do they expect this to last for us? How long do they expect before? Because if they obsolete it too quickly, people are grinding like crazy on this. If you obsolete it too fast, I don't know.
I'm hoping that we get an update in 4.3, and then another in 4.35, and another at 4.4. I'm hoping that they've got new additions to give us each half patch.
I consider the fact that they can only do one dungeon on certain patches. That's asking a lot.
They've given us updates to the relic weapon on subsequent half patches.
This isn't adding an entire new zone and the quest to go in it, and an entire new set of gear and the upgrade paths and all of that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like more than a dungeon.
I'm hoping for it. I'm not saying we're going to get it.
And I hope for a pony.
That's already a thing. We'll do some pony farming later.
I hope for a real life pony.
We're going to have to get a patch soon just because the weapon is only 455. So we're going to have to get an upgrade
355
quest line. 355, that was it.
Yes.
Onto the future. I've got my relic weapon from next expansion.
Yeah, right? What's it like, future man?
If I could send gear back in time, I'd send crafted items and make a killing on the market, but...
Like I said, that's something I would like to see. Whether we'll get it or not, I don't know. I'm hoping that we get at least an upgrade to the relic weapon. Maybe not necessarily a whole new zone, but at least another quest to go to 360 by 4.3. And then 4.35, they introduce the fire zone or whatever next zone there is in line.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, given that they're supposed to be the equivalent of the relics. I think they do need to update those a little more frequently than they would the others.
The only reason that I'm thinking that, ideally, of course, here, that we would get it every half patch is there are 6 elements. There are theoretically going to be 6 Animos zones.
I don't think we'll get 6 Animos zones. I really don't.
I can give you a damn good guess as to what the names of possible names of the zones would be.
Yeah, well, it's whatever the fire, wind, or water, earth equivalent is of Animos, right?
Yeah, and that one they actually used. They used Animos as a prefix for the Helix spells for Scholar in Final Fantasy XI, so I'd expect the others to match. So that would be Pyro, Cryo, Geo, Iono, and Hydro.
So Hydromos?
Or Hydros.
Hydros?
Just Hydro.
Hydro City. That was my favorite in Sonic 3.
Da-da-da-da.
All right. We've all written a lot of Sonic fan fiction. Oh, just me?
Yes, just you.
I have also.
I actually haven't. It just seemed like the joke to make.
Oh, well, I have. So.
Well done. Like, it's a rite of passage on the internet. Like, see some boobs, write some Sonic fan fiction, post a racist rant, and then you've interneted.
Don't forget to mention Hitler.
I said racist rant.
But it
By
has
the
to
way,
be with Hitler.
Can we talk about who we expect that thing is that at the end of the cutscene of Eureka is, or is it still too early?
I mean, I'm not going to have any idea, so.
And Fair Eyes Seyrr is never wrong. He'll tell you that himself.
Oh, I'm wrong frequently. How do you get better at stuff if you're never wrong?
He's lying.
This statement is a lie.
But yeah,
But none of your heads explode because brains don't work that way. Okay,
but
Klauss.
yeah, I have a theory on who it is. I actually think we're going to be fighting the Pandemonium Warden.
Pandemonium
11.
Warden's going to come back?
Yeah, I actually think that.
Maybe it's Absolute Virtue.
No, I think it's the Warden, just because the layout seems like pictures I've seen.
I mean, there's the entire question of what exactly happened to the Isle of Val and is it Val or Val? I forget how they translate it.
Val.
Yeah, but Val. But
VAL,
what happened
whatever.
to it and why is it back half a world away? Like, that's still a bit concerning.
Well, I mean, because my guess is it's going to be somebody with a Final Fantasy V base name, because there's a lot of FF5 references within the storyline.
Maybe.
Who that would be, I couldn't tell you. I mean, because we've already had a bunch of Final Fantasy V bosses in Deltascape.
Right.
So I guess I don't know who else would be left. I haven't played 5 yet.
You
I
should
haven't
play
played
5.
6
Fun.
yet.
It's on my list. I have it for Steam. I might get to it after I finish 6.
Oh, the Steam one is based on the mobile port. Hate.
Well, it's still the game.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm still having fun with it. And we had fun with it last night. Anyway, moving on.
I had fun with your mom last night.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. She was kind of terrible.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So 24-man raid. Where are we going to go next? Are we going to the monastery?
I mean, like, that's been the one I've been convinced that Orban Monastery is going to have to show up at some point. Just because for the tactic setting, it being the place where it all began and the place where you make that final descent.
Otherwise,
but I don't know if that's something that would happen right yet, or if they're going to draw it out a little bit more.
Nick Nar
Sounds
also
like
threw
something-
out the possibility of, I'm looking for it back in the chat.
If you have the PSX or PS3, you can borrow my Anthologies version.
I own Anthologies, and I have a PS2, but I can't stream with that. So, yeah. I've actually owned Final Fantasy VI for a very long time. I just never played it. I'm still looking for that past
Could he just say it again?
Leomond.
Vagrant Story. I will always upvote Vagrant Story.
Actually, no. My Stream Deck does not function that way, Kane. And if you're thinking of my my other piece, I don't have HDMI cables for my PS2. So yeah,
We could buy. Can't you buy a HDMI converter thing?
be kind of messy.
What? I don't want to say it on here, but you could also, get it
Nope.
via.
Nope. We don't do that.
Okay.
We don't talk about those things here, Chille.
Talk about what?
Exactly.
Wait until the stream is over.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Wait until we're not recording this and streaming it.
Well, if you own it.
But I also want to play it legally, so I want to keep it on the up and up. Give Square Enix all my money. They already have half my soul. So, are we going to get the monastery? Are we going to get somewhere from Vagrant Story? What are we going to get?
I mean, if it's somewhere from Vagrant Story, that's pretty much Liamon. The entire game takes place in that city, aside from a couple side scenes.
Okay.
Where else could you?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. See, PS3 has HDMI.
But the thing is, though, with that, I would have to then rebuy another copy of it because my PS3 is not backwards compatible.
Okay.
I do not have a Gen 1. I have a Gen 2.
Yeah. And also to fix that, you can use a HDMI splitter, and that normally sorts the issue of the HDCP.
Yeah, well,
I feel like we're sidetracking here.
That's not my concern. Like I said, I own it on Steam. That's what I'm streaming on.
Even if it's a terrible mobile.
It's still the same game.
I have feelings about this.
You can have all the feelings you want.
Yay! You're like my therapist.
I will just ignore them.
You're not like my therapist.
Just like your therapist. But
I'm trying to think of if there's any other locations that are especially notable. Maybe like Rio Veins, where you had that dramatic confrontation on the roof.
So is there any specific bosses that we would fight if we were to go to any of those locations?
I mean, part of me feels like you've got to have Vigraph in there. He's the one where you have the solo fight against him, and then he transforms into the Lucavi.
Okay, I believe you.
I've never played those, so
yeah, we're again. It's one of those games that I own but I haven't played yet.
So, in my defense, Tactics never got released here.
Physically,
yeah, and
even digitally, it never got released.
And Terra Enigma never got released here, but that didn't stop me.
Steam.
Yeah, until now. But I'm talking about when actually, was the thing.
I know, and as I said, Terra Enigma never got released here, but I didn't let that get in the way.
Yeah, but you don't know how expensive importing was in England. I did tell you about how expensive
imports.
Okay, but how much it cost me to import Fantasy 11?
Yeah, no, your prices are insane.
I paid £120 for the PC version, which at the time would have been $240.
Good lord. Okay, that is kind of insane.
Yeah.
What is wrong with your island?
They're a quasi-monarchy that doesn't realize that they're no longer a monarchy, and they're just messed up.
I think they know.
I mean, it's not as bad nowadays. This was, a long time, when 11 came out, but still.
Right.
Yeah, like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, 16 years ago, 17 years ago.
So, I mean, the other thing I would wonder about is if they're going to continue to do the thing where, like, they had the classic Tactics location, but then they also mixed in a bit of that 12 stuff because of the whole Evilise Alliance thing. Like, they had the ability to bring in the 12 stuff as a reference. So are there other 12 locations they might bring in as well?
That's possible, too.
Well, I think they'll keep mixing the two because it's supposed to be it's not supposed to be exactly Tactics, is it? It's supposed to be a fictional story based on the game. So
yep,
exactly.
A theme park version, as they often say.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't have to be fully canonically just like the Evilise of Tactics or 12 or Vagrant Story. It can be whatever the story writers want to draw from.
Though they do try to keep some amount of consistency.
Because they would hear from it from the neckbeards.
Well, also, a lot of them are the neckbeards. Like, we've reached the point where the neckbeards are also the ones making the games.
Yeah,
they care.
True. That's true. All right.
That's, I think, why you've started getting a lot of this, like, really high-quality stuff. Because you have, like, the people who are making it are the people who grew up with it, who remembered, who have all the really strong feelings about it. Like, a lot of them care about doing it right for themselves.
Oh, you're right. I suppose.
Which I think is why we get so much stuff that's a lot better than we used to get. Like, go back and look at the quality of stuff that we used to get. Oh my god, they cater to us now.
See, Seyrr's always right.
Seyrr generally doesn't take a position that Seyrr can't back up.
The only time Sarah is wrong is when he's being rightly wrong.
Woo!
Yeah.
I mean, the secret to being always right is to be careful about positions you can take and actually think about them.
Thinking's overrated.
And then there's me when I rate every time someone screws up that they normally just shout my name.
And you didn't punch hard enough.
It's like, oh no, Chille died, and we're like, but I didn't.
Damn it, Chille, why'd you step in the crap? But I didn't. Chille.
Like earlier today when the tank lost Hayton, it's like, watch it, I was taking damage. I'm like, Chille, stop playing the mechanics. I'm like, but I've got hate. Oh, like, oh okay.
Chille, stop taking hate. Chille, use your cooldowns.
Chille, don't use your cooldowns.
Chille, do more DPS.
But don't do too much DPS.
Chille, stop taking hate.
Stop.
Anyway,
let's get back.
So, in 4.3, will we become the unwitting slaves of a bunch of catfish?
Ooh.
AKA, will we get the Namazu as the
Namazu,
next beast tribe, and will we start doing a whole bunch of crafting stuff for them?
Please, I might actually do the beast tribes if it was.
So the Namazu or the Lupin seem like the top. Like they've had enough hinting with the Lupin that I kind of wonder, especially given that we have this batch that's been recent, like those units that were freed from Garlean control. Having a batch of them who want to start rebuilding seems like a definite possibility.
But I mean, we already have the settlement of Namazu in Yangsha, that's where my guess is we are going to actually have our next quest coming out of.
I would guess it would be nearby it, but
What
not actually in it.
Oh.
I just thought, what if we get both?
Like 2 in one patch?
What if their quests tie into each other?
Because
the Lupin want to make do a settlement, right? Well, the Nazamu want to be merchants. What if you're crafting for the Nazamu as they sell it to Lupin, sort of thing? Like the quest interloop together.
Help create a thing where they live in harmony? Madness.
Preposterous.
What about that?
No, that could actually be pretty cool.
I doubt it'll happen, but it'd be cool.
That way they can hit both beast tribes without extending it too much.
I mean, we could theoretically have a 4th beast tribe come out. I mean, that's not beyond the realm of possibility.
I mean, originally we like in the Realm Reborn, we had 5 of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And 12 allowances is enough to do 4 tribes. So, I mean, it's possible.
I still like my idea. I just thought of.
You just wanted to use the why can't we have both?
Yeah, why can't we have both?
But yeah,
because these aren't tacos, that's why.
Exactly. I do think I lean a little more towards the Namazu over the Lupin, but I didn't want to rule them out entirely.
Like I said, I would say they're a possibility for a potential 4th, but we'll have to see what.
They're also the rumored next playable race, aren't they?
The Lupin?
Yeah.
No, it's Bunny Girls or Riot.
Well, no, it's just because the Lupin already has job-specific equipment, so.
Yep. Plus, being able to be wolf people, there's like a significant segment to whom that appeals.
Bunny Girls or Riot.
But you can already be bunny girl as a guy.
Real
bunny boys.
Real bunny girls. Everybody wants to do their Fran. Anyway.
That just sounded wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, other content. Will we get a new PvP mode?
Oh, what would they do? Because we've got like the King of the Hill equivalent. We've got the Capture the Flag equivalent.
Battle Royale.
Yeah. 1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1v1 till 100?
Yeah.
And 44?
That sounds terrible.
Okay, so that's the thing. I mean, it would be cool. I mean, and it would also kind of piggyback on the current PvP meta.
Yeah.
When you're looking at esports right now, the biggest games are PUBG and Fortnite. Both of
Which
them
I've been
are
streaming.
battle royale. Cage match.
Okay.
How
Illegal
would that
la-
even work?
Illegal Lalafell cage matches.
Legal Lalafell cage matches.
No,
It's like, yeah, we decided that no one actually had a problem with this, so we changed the laws.
Erinthios, I don't know what Radical Heights is. I'm sorry.
It's a new battle royale in early access by Cliffy B. The guy who from Epic, he made the Gears of War stuff originally.
Okay.
It pissed off a lot of people because they released a game last year which was based on MOBAs called Lawbreakers, and that sold really badly.
Lore breakers?
Lawbreaker. Law.
Oh, lore or law?
Law. I am the law.
Oh, well, see that you're hearing it, so I'm
Law, as in
LAW.
Yeah, lawyer.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Anyway, they made a game called Lawbreakers, and that did really badly. In fact, so badly that for most of the last few months, Steam charts showed one player playing it.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, they then pretty much 6 months after the game came out, they've now scrapped any update to it, and now they've released this other game in early access, and it's like everyone's kind of like, well, why should we support it when your previous game that you said you were going to support? Yeah, it didn't have any player base, but you kind of killed the support straight away.
So it already has pay to win, according to Erinthios. Lovely.
They got rid of most of it, so that's not completely true. They actually got rid of most of the pay to win mechanics already.
But it still sounds like a terrible game, so yes, let's do it.
Terrible.
It's like,
Anyway,
I don't even know.
I don't want to talk too much, but yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, it gives a little bit more background into what an actual, what these battle royale type games would be if that were the next type of PvP content that were introduced within the game.
I don't know how it'd work with Final Fantasy.
Well, I mean, you could split up into light parties. I mean, you've got squads in Fortnite, right?
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, you could split up into light parties, and you could go in as a group of 4, and support each other in trying to basically win the day, so to speak. Be the last group standing.
I guess it'd be something like to test who is the strongest in the army.
I don't know how that would fit it in lore-wise, but, I mean, I guess these are just ideas.
100 Dragon Battle Royale, no one wins.
The floor wins.
No, the vegetables win because of all the fertilizer.
Will we get any changes for crafting and gathering? Like new gear?
I mean, that's not really a meaningful change, though. I mean, like, we're going to expect to generally see new gear and things like that, but any type of change that we care about, more than just the usual progression.
Yeah, I mean, would there be any... They usually don't introduce anything like that on anything that's not a whole new expansion.
Yeah. I mean, like, they did add stuff like, for instance, custom deliveries, some
I
stuff like that.
Yeah, they're I mean, is it theoretically possible we could get an additional client? I mean, they've talked about that we're going to get more and more. I mean, granted... Yeah,
I thought they'd said that it was going to happen reasonably quickly. I was honestly a little surprised we didn't have any yet.
Though it was introduced somewhat late in Heavensward, was it not? Like 3.3 or 4?
Was it? Hang on, let me check. Because I know they said for...
Because it came out after the Wondrous Tales book.
Yeah, I think it was nearly 3.5.
Let's see.
I think it was 3.4.5.
I don't recall exactly. So, I mean, we would be due then for a new client.
Yeah.
355 introduces Loey.
Okay, wow. So then we got a new one in, what, 4.1? Was that when Minaga was introduced?
Hang on.
4.1.
Custom deliveries, patch notes. Hang on.
Use your Google Foo, Seyrr.
4.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
yeah,
we'd be
do
due.
it.
We're overdue.
And
Well,
Yeah,
not really,
and
because
I
it's
mean-
been 2.
so that would put us to 4.3 then, according to that.
Yeah.
But I had thought they'd said that they were going to be bringing out new ones a little bit faster, which is the reason that I was surprised.
All right. So then in that case, who will we get in 4.3?
Yosetsu, she wants you to go craft sweets for her.
You mean Yosetsu?
Everything.
Who?
Yotsuyu.
Yosetsu.
He's
Yeah,
shipping.
every single-
He's shipping them already. Did you notice that?
But I mean, like, it's like a father-daughter relationship. No.
There are videos
Every
of that
single
too,
rank-
Seyrr.
I'm aware. I've been on the internet. Just trying to
That
pretend.
is wrong.
Anyways, every single rank will just be variations on Dango and Dango making equipment.
Yeah, there we go.
This
She's
you are
Yotsuyu
preparing all
Hill,
these- You're
Dango and
preparing
Dango
all these
accessories.
things for her to sell them to herself. All the cutscenes include her trying to pretend that this is totally for selling to others and no one believing a word of it.
Speaking of Dango, I actually had Dango for the first time this last weekend.
Ooh.
Oh,
It was tasty. It wasn't the tricolor Dango like we saw there. It was the soy sauce one. Kind of a sweetened soy sauce, sticky.
sounds nice, though.
It was tasty though. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I'm sorry, but all I can picture right now is her stood in like a little wooden like booth thing. That goes for sale.
And a
Just
bunch of
for
empty
me.
skewers.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like a Dango. Oh, we're all out.
But right there.
All out!
But it's right there. I won't see it.
Oh, that would be adorable.
But I mean, it would make sense that our next client would be in Kugane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like they want to try to not have stuff clustered too much on one side of the world or the other.
I just really, I know it sounds
Hancock.
weird,
Oh my god, yes!
Hancock is our next client.
but, oh, that'd be perfect.
that could actually work. Or someone working for the East Aldenard Trading
No,
Company.
it's Hancock. And we get more total weeaboo conversations
Only
with him.
if one of the titles from it is stealing panties.
Stealer of Pants, thank you.
Yeah, I want that.
Panty
That's my
Raider.
title.
I was always a little sad that we didn't actually get that title from anything.
Stealer of
that-
pants, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that made reading the journals so worth it.
Right? Stealer of pants.
It's like, how did they know?
Okay, stupid question. Did you actually get that if you did not do the Hildebrand quest line?
Yes.
You still got it even if you didn't?
Yep, I checked the data files. You
Slightly
still get it either
disappointing.
way. Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's just if you haven't done it, it's like, okay, people make up weird stories about you. And if you have done it, how did they know? No one was watching when I stole the old man's clothing.
But the thing is, they're so good about being able to make those cute little tie-ins that reference when you've done and haven't done certain patches and
I know.
quests. So that's like I said, slightly
I mean,
disappointing.
how would the line have gone otherwise? Like, it's not like there's an interesting alternate version for it. I think it does work to have it be like, it's like, yes, you are this great hero and everyone's heard of you. You're so great that there's, at this point, weird rumors going on around about you because people just make shit up because you're that famous. Like, it doesn't feel that out of place to me.
Right. Any other thoughts on what we could do? I mean, there is potentially we could do something with the Kojin, or we
Well,
could
we've
do,
alre-
or we
like
could do
we've already-
something with the that one fixer lady in Kugane that's
I mean,
involved
we've
with the quest line for the that little doll.
I mean, that we've already done that with the coaching is the big thing. Like,
Yeah.
having a second one, that feels like it would just be kind of weird. Especially because people who are coming to the game later, they might not have done the first Kojin ones before they start the other set.
Okay. Well, then, like I said, maybe instead of the Kojin, do the lady that ran the repair shop. Maybe she's gonna start selling some stuff. As like I said, I'm just trying to think of other possibilities besides Hancock.
Or maybe it's going to be based on main story, and we have to pay off the debt Alpha has from buying the sword.
Oh my God, Tataru!
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh my God, I love it!
No, it's Tataru and Hancock.
Well,
It goes through the East Aldenard Trading Company, but we get a portion of that to fill the coffers back.
Both of them are working together on
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
oh my God, I love it.
You get the quest from Tataru, but you've got to go to the Hancock to buy the items.
Or
I mean,
that
it's not
area.
like they're both, like, you talk to one of them, but in the cutscenes, both of them are interacting with you.
Yes.
Well, no, have you done the current ones?
Yeah?
You get the quest from one person, and you got to talk to the other guy, the other vendor to buy him. That's I think Hancock will be like the vendor to buy him.
I can't see Hancock as being just a mere vendor of items.
Now, if
I
anybody,
expect him to appear in the cutscenes as well.
well, yeah, be in the cutscenes. I'm betting we would buy this stuff outside of the instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I still just can't see Hancock lowering himself to that. That's what he has subordinates
If
for.
this were the case, we would turn it into the lady at the desk, and then when we finish, we would get a cutscene inside the office.
Yeah. I mean, like, whichever one we interact with in the scenes, it's both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. I want that.
I would love that.
All right. Gold Saucer. Are we gonna get anything new out of that?
Male bunny suits.
Besides male bunny suits.
Yeah, we know about those already.
I need to promote it as much as possible.
I mean, are we gonna get any new games? Any new gates?
Well, they said that there's some new games on the way, so...
I mean, are we going to get them as early as 4.3, or are they going to push them back to 4.55?
Are they going to need a new space for them? Like, what space do they have left? I thought they didn't have space left, but then they put in the fashion report, so it's like, okay, there's still space to work with.
I think there's still little bits and bobs in other areas that you could squeeze stuff into.
Yeah. It frustrates me a little when like a zone gets too crowded with stuff to do, you know?
They could also make it an instance like the Battle Hall.
Yeah. Could it be its own sort of area?
Or they could add on to an existing one like they did with Ferminion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could expand the second floor.
Yeah. There's options.
I mean, the one that everybody wants is like the snowboarding minigame from 7.
Everyone remembers the snowboarding game. Why does no one ever remember the submarine game?
Submarine game's the other one.
I want the bike.
I want the battle challenge. I want the battle arena.
The one where you fight, or the one where you have the sumo wrestler?
The one where you fight with the status reels every time you go through. I want something like that.
And then you save up way too much and get Omnislash on disc 1. Was Omnislash even available on disc 1?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you now, it was actually half price on disc 1.
Are you sure about that? Well, I thought it was half price on the later discs.
No, on the first disc it was 32,000. On the later disc it was 64,000.
Huh. Interesting. But it was also a lot harder to earn points on the earlier discs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got it on my first disc.
Well done.
That's crazy.
I don't remember.
And then you go and you get Great Gospel, and
I grinded way too much.
You get Great Gospel, and Eric has been dead for half a disc.
Any other things you guys want to speculate on?
I want, as I was talking about the Golden Saucer, I want the Moogle one where you have to throw the correct amount of Kubo nuts to make the guy fly so he can get a date.
Moghouse. There was no point to playing it more than once, but I totally did. Oh, Mog. Your happy little forest life. I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
More genuine happiness.
Whoa.
Acceptable.
Someone said Red Mage banana themed hammocks.
How would that even work? What makes them red mage themed?
They've got a little feather at the front.
It's Seyrr's horrified face.
That's what Kane was going for.
Well done. A total success on all counts.
Kane, you win the internets today.
Hey, I'm the one
The
that
rest
came up
of
with the
us
idea
lose.
of the design, though.
The rest of us lose.
It's all red and one end has a pimp hat.
Oh.
No,
We
Kane.
broke Seyrr.
No, Kane. No,
Kane, you should have
Kane.
broke Seyrr before we got Lore.
Bad Kane.
I can't see the chat, but I'm kind of curious what he said.
No, you aren't.
I am curious.
How about that lore? Before we get into the lore, like I said, if you guys do have ideas that you hope to see within 4.3, or things that maybe aren't announced in the live letter tomorrow, do feel free to email us, podcast@phoenixradio.com. Hit us up on Twitter at phxdnradio, or you can post it to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/phoenixdownradio.
Or, if you're watching us live, you could hit the Discord link and come join us.
Yep, we can always jump back and talk to you guys as well on that. But until then, let's go ahead and continue on. I mean, we are 2 hours in already. Wow, that was a lot of discussion, guys.
Yeah? Like, this is what happens when you let us aimlessly shoot the shit and speculate on things. You can go pretty deep down that rabbit hole.
Exactly. So, Seyrr, you did finally come up with the lore topic at the last minute.
Well, I mean, I'd been thinking about it for a bit, but then I decided to actually go what I actually wanted to write about. So about a week and a half ago, Mithrin Scarlet commented in our Discord Lorebrarian channel, and I'd like to again invite everyone listening, come to our Discord. Even when we're not running the show, our Lorebrarian channel is pretty much always open. I keep an eye on it. Several other major lore masters in the community keep an eye on it, and we just like discussing things. You put a random question in there, and you will get an hour-long chat about it, like pretty consistently. But he commented, consider a lore segment for each of the game's jobs and how they operate in the world. And I think that's a really fun idea. Like, most of these jobs are based on real-world disciplines, and it's kind of interesting to see how they've been interpreted here. And since we spent this entire episode making largely baseless predictions, I think it is only appropriate that we start out with Astrologian. I mean, actually, it was because I was reading a really interesting book on tarot archetypes recently, but we're going with it. So, Astrologian is 14th take on a gambler class that's been applied to a healer base. For those of you who haven't really played it, paid much attention to it, it can switch between the regens of a white mage or the shields of a scholar, which gives it increased flexibility and the ability to work in a variety of party setups. And additionally, the divination mechanic allows the Astrologian to draw fortune-telling cards and use them to give various buffs to party members. Because the cards that are drawn are random, which is where that gambler aspect comes in, Astrologians need to be prepared to adapt to changing situations in order to take advantage of a lucky draw. Now, in Eorzea, Astrologian is introduced in Heaven's Word, where the practice of Ishgardian astrology is a vital part of the war against the Dravanians. By charting the movements of a celestial body they call the Dragon Star, they're able to make fairly accurate predictions as to where and when the Horde is going to attack. So, naturally, we almost immediately begin studying in the rival, and maybe a little bit heretical, school of Charlayan astrology. Most Ishgardians see very little point in studying Charlayan astrology, since it seems to have no special use in the war effort, especially compared with Ishgardian. So Charlayan astrology, some of its major features are that the astromancer attunes their ether with the movement of the stars. This is why the star globe is an important tool for that. And let me go ahead and actually get my star globe out there. Isn't that pretty? But that is an important tool we use in order to attune that ether in order to cast our various spells and use our abilities. Also uses the divining deck, which we always have at our side, and I always hated the appearance of that. It feels so off from everything. But including 6 major arcana. Each of those cards in the Major Arcana corresponds to one of the 6 lesser heavens, having an elemental association and a symbolic meaning that is heavily tied in with the 12. There is supposed to be a 7th heaven that rules above them all, but actually sort of reaching a tuning with that one is supposed to be nearly impossible, will kill you type of thing.
You haven't broken the limit yet.
Yeah. The LB3 for Astrologians supposedly actually involves a brief moment of communing with that 7th heaven to shower down this blessing upon the battlefield.
But you're not punching.
Punching! Yay!
Isn't that Tifa's?
No.
Oh.
Wrong. Different 7th heaven.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Shucks.
And of course, the attunement of that ether. This was something where Charlayan researchers, as examining these various astrological principles, found that there was the basis of an actual arcane system beneath them, researched it out, and as a result, gave us healing spells, which Ishgardian astrology does not include, and those healing spells are actually what allow the practice to gain some amount of traction in Ishgard. A lot of the knights are really, really enthused about the idea of Charlayan-trained astrologers coming along and being able to cast their benefic spells on the knight. Those of you who have done the Astrologian quests may remember one of them where the little quest tracker tells you to cast Aspected Benefic. Keep casting Aspected Benefic. Why aren't you still casting Aspected Benefic? Good times. The quests for the Astrologian do follow the trials and travails of Leveva Heaven's Reader Bird, a Charlayan astrologer who seeks to follow in the footsteps of her father by bringing astromancy to the wider world.
Sorry, Sarah, I need to interject this in here. Farai just brought up a really cool point. The Astrologian auto attack is basically using one of their cards and slashing at their foe, basically giving them a paper cut.
Which is nice because this star globe is a precision instrument. You really shouldn't be bonking people with it.
Well, they need to make it more tough then.
Well, I was always amused at the Black Mage Thaumaturge weapon, the Astrolabe, which is like a little orbiting globe system on a stick, and the fact that if you auto-attack with them, you have this super precise precision thingy, an instrument that you're bopping your enemy with. And it's nice to know that the Astrologian is a little more respectful of their tools.
It's a precursor to the Bop It.
No.
Twist it.
Just
hit it.
No. No! What is wrong with you?
Pet it.
Oh my god. So anyways, the quests follow the trials and travails of Leveva Heaven's Reader Bird, a Charlayan astrologer who, as I was saying, seeks to follow in the footsteps of her father by bringing astromancy to the wider world. Over the course of the various quests, she teaches us the fundamentals of Charlayan astrology, faces opposition from Charlayan in spreading knowledge to the outside world, and learns about the connections between her discipline and the Far Eastern practice of geomancy. A lot of aspects of geomancy seem to be astrology under a different name, which also means we are not likely to get a geomancer class ever. They might do something that has uses similar mechanics, but they would probably give it a different name at that point. Now, both of the Astrologians' practices are based in real-world divination methods that have been used for millennia, really. Astrology and cartomancy. So in astrology, stars in the sky are used as the basis for constellations, simple line patterns that represent images. These images are often very abstract, and they serve as the basis for various myths and legends. I've always been amused to see that Pegasus, the flying horse, apparently his wing is a giant square that seems to be like about the size of the rest of his body.
That's cool.
Yep. The constellations that most of us know originate with the ancient Babylonians, which were later adopted and expanded by the Greeks. And that system includes the 12 signs of the zodiacs that we typically see in modern astrology. Different cultures throughout history have drawn their own pictures with the same spots in the sky. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with the Chinese zodiac, where you have the different constellations for the different animals, each of which is associated with a year. But various Native American and African groups have their own star myths and their own constellations for them. I remember seeing one about a Native American tradition where one of those constellations ended up being a pathway that kind of went along where the Milky Way was, sort of a path that goes across the sky, and some of the stars traced out the edges of that path. The African ones are especially interesting because when you're in the southern hemisphere, you do see an entirely different set of stars. Which also does complicate the entire idea of astrology. If there's multiple different pictures that you could create and multiple associations you could create, who's to say which is the correct one? Also complicating matters is the occasional discovery of new planets or stars, or their destruction. I forget which one it was that went supernova that made a real headache for Chinese astrologers. And we actually do see this in FF14. In the Astrologian Quest, they talk about the issue of Dalamud, which used to be included in their readings. And once Dalamud was no longer in the sky, do you redo the entire system to have okay, it's not in there? Do you take the measurements of where it should be in the sky and go based on that? It's a little bit of a thorny question. The answers are not as fixed and unchanging as we might like them to be. Now, over time, the relative position of constellations and planets in the sky changes due to the Earth's tilt. From spring to summer to fall to winter, you do have those ones shifting. Which ones you're going to see during different times of the night are going to be changing. Certain regions of the sky are considered more or less influential, or they're associated with particular traits that might be aligned with or opposed to the celestial bodies that are located there. And predictions are made based on the position of the relevant celestial bodies and the influence that they're expected to have. You just take all of these things that are supposed to be influencing romance or wealth or other things like that, and you use that to try to make your best prediction as to what's going to happen. That's the general idea behind astrology. Now, many of the astrologian skill names actually come from astrological charts and practices. Benefic and malefic are simple enough. That refers to planets that lead to positive or negative outcomes. But combust, the damage over time ability, that actually refers to when a planet is so close to the position of the sun that it's hidden by the sun's light. Or essential dignity, that's the instant GCD really powerful heal. That one, essential dignity, is when a planet is in a region of the sky that's considered to increase its influence. So it's definitely something that's kind of neat, where they took a lot of these terms and found their own way to kind of play with it. The combust, dealing with the light of the sun, there's this idea that, okay, you're creating this miniature sun that's kind of burning and searing away at them. So the other divination method that the astrologian uses is cartomancy, which is any kind of fortune telling that's using cards that are marked with symbols or images. Now, this could be as simple as a type of game you might see on an elementary school playground. Pick a card and you'll get the thing that's on it. Fortune prediction. Or you could make it as complicated as you like. Multi-card layouts, complex symbology for each card, having cards interpreted in the context of other cards. For most Western audiences, the most familiar form of cartomancy is tarot. That's divination using a deck of cards very similar to the modern playing deck. Now, the tarot deck itself seems to have originated in Europe in the mid-1400s, where it was mostly used to play various games. In a number of countries, including in Italy, it's still used for a lot of different kinds of card games. It took about 300 years for the formal discipline of tarotology to develop, which is a somewhat standardized set of meanings and interpretations. Generally, it's made up of 78 cards. You have 56 cards in 4 suits that correspond to the 4 suits of our playing card deck. You've got cups, which are your hearts, wands, which are your clubs, coins, which are your diamonds, and swords, which are your spades. Each suit has 14 cards, ace through 10, page, knight, queen, and king. So 4 face cards instead of 3. And in fortune telling, these cards are called the minor arcana. And then you have 22 trump cards, which include a fool or a joker card. The word trump here originates from triumph, and in most games, these cards are stronger than the other cards or have special powers, and so can overrule the other cards. In fortune telling, these cards are called the major arcana. Now, in a tarot reading, each of those 78 cards has an image on it and 2 associated meanings. One for the card being drawn normally, and one for if it is drawn reversed or upside down. And those meanings can be modified based on where it is placed in the spread, which is an arrangement of several cards that have been drawn in succession. One of the most well-known modern ones is the Celtic Cross, which places 10 cards in an arrangement that looks kind of like a cross and a staff. The cross supposedly shows the past, present, and potential futures of a situation that you're asking about, and the staff shows hidden resources and emotions that relate to it. Pretty much, I think of a tarot deck as a big old deck of tropes and archetypes, and the spread is a way of taking a batch of tropes and archetypes and trying to fit them together into a cohesive picture. Now, even if you don't believe in fortune telling, symbols and references from these methods are used frequently in a lot of forms of media, in large part because of that associated symbolism. Anyone listening who has played the Persona series, they know full well just how much mileage you can get out of a basic knowledge of tarot archetypes and how many different kinds of interesting stories you can tell with them. I feel like these methods of fortune telling have survived and thrived because at their core, they're methods of telling a story that tries to impose some kind of order on something random and chaotic, which is just a really human thing to do.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, that's pretty much what we're all doing with our lives all the time.
Does my life have meaning? Well, the answer to that is no, but...
Please don't make me give people existential crises. I don't want to do that right now.
Too late. So you're going to do tarot readings for everybody? Is that what I heard?
I mean, I actually could. I have a deck. It's a standard Rider-Waite. I know most of the symbology. I usually use it for myself as sort of a do a thing, see what interpretation I get out of it, and that mostly tells me about what my brain is focusing on and where I'm at.
Yeah,
I use it more as a tool for self-analysis than anything else.
I would like a tarot reading.
Oh.
Chille, you're thinking about getting a cheeky Nando's.
Yay!
Oh, that's not how this works. Okay.
But I know Chille.
We're going to do something simple. I pulled out the Major Arcana earlier for reasons mostly relating to tracking a Persona game.
Oh, boy.
All right, Chille. What kind of situation do we want to ask about here?
Oh, God.
Will I get to FanFest?
All right. And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
All right. And I'm going to cut the deck. Tell me when to... I'm moving my fingers slowly along it. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right. And so we are going to just do one card for this from the Major Arcana. There are so many different methods for things, for these ones. Like, you can pretty much come up with any kind of... Anyways. And we have the Wheel of Fortune, card number 10 of the Major Arcana. Oh, now, what is the symbolism on that one? I know some of these, but not all of them. So, let's see. Okay, here's a good interpretation guide. So the Wheel of Fortune, the idea is that you do have this wheel that is constantly in motion. Sometimes you're going to be at the top, sometimes you're at the bottom. And when you think you're in one situation, you're already moving along to the next one. The meaning behind it is that nothing is going to be permanent, so good or bad, you want to cherish the lessons that this moment is bringing you. Kind of this idea of living in the moment and not worrying about what will happen, because at any, even when it seems like stuff is going well, the next turn of the Wheel of Fortune may put you in a very different spot.
Okay.
That seems very Chille-ish.
Yeah.
I do remember once drawing the tower for a friend of mine, which the tower is what people think death is. It is like stuff being destroyed and old systems being knocked down, and it's kind of a miserable card. So it's good we did not draw the tower here. That would have been like your house is going to catch on fire kind of thing. Maybe not that, but...
But that.
And I mean, like, yeah, this is pretty much, we took some cards, grabbed one at random, and used it to try to give yourself something to think about or some kind of insight into your situation. That's, I think, one of the things that can be fun about it.
Woo! So Seyrr's going to do that on stream next? Just kidding.
I wonder if I can make money for it. Get some good patter. Get a sufficiently mystical outfit. Man, I could wear a robe all the time.
We could do it as a subscriber only thing.
I don't know that I actually want to do this though.
I'm teasing.
Like,
I'm teasing.
I know. I seriously use my tarot deck more for persona tracking than anything else. Hey, you've got the cards laid in front of you. You slap a post-it note on each one with the rank stuff is at, maybe marked with the days that contact is available.
All right. Anyway, let's keep moving. We're running very long.
Well, I mean, that's about all I had to say about Astrologians.
All right. Like I said, if you guys have an idea what you'd like to hear about in an upcoming episode for lore, I mean, let us know. You can email Seyrr directly, Seyrr@phoenixstormradio.com. You can shoot podcast a message, podcast@phoenixstormradio.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, the website, wherever. Just let us know where. What you would like to hear about, and we will definitely work with you guys to give you what you want. We'll make Seyrr do it.
Tell me what you want.
Are you not entertained? All right. Well, we've got some emails and comments to talk about this week as well. This was an interesting thing that came up in last night's stream. Kaleida on Discord asked the following question. So, throughout all of Final Fantasy XIV, what do you guys consider at least 5 of the most, I want to say, enchanting, inspiring, or simply amazing soundtrack themes from throughout anywhere in all of 14 that you know of or have heard? And Seyrr went real in depth.
Well, I mean, it was hard. Limited to 5 is hard. Like,
yeah,
some
well,
of them
she said at least 5.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I did save my notes from that, which there was no way I could limit it to 5, but I kind of divided up into 5 sort of like suites, like sort of, or like if I was going to an evening performance kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just first off, Rise of the White Raven brings back so many memories. It's such a awe-inspiring epic track. There's what I referred to as the Praetorium suite of Steel Reason, Maker's Ruin, and Ultima. Oh my god, I love it when I get Praetorium in the MSQ roulette. I know I'm going to get more XP. I have time to catch up on my podcast, and I get to listen to a bunch of really awesome music in a row.
Woo.
What I refer to as the Lonely Adventurer suite of Navigator's Glory, On Windy Meadows, Whisper of the Land, Unspoken, and Far From Home. Most of those are actually 1.0 overworld themes, which had a kind of not quite forlorn quality to them, but it definitely had it was like a kind of quieter, more contemplative one, which I really liked. The Alexander suite of Metal, Brute Justice Mode, Mobius, and Rise, which just this sheer amount of energy in it, the kind of like technological, mechanical nature really
Sonic
appealed to me.
Boom!
Damn it! And then the Primal suite of...
The Primal suite you were trying to say?
And that one I grabbed Ramuh's theme, Ravana's Hand That Gives the Rose, Equilibrium, and Beauty's Wicked Wiles, which have a lot of like, just all of them have like really kind of fun earwormy qualities. Different in some ways, but a lot of them had this like really evocative emotional feel that I just loved. Like, that's one thing that does show up in a lot of the primal themes, the idea that this is a prayer to this god, and with the nature of the temperate, it becomes about this raw, surging emotion. Soken is a goddamn genius.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, don't sell Uematsu short either. I mean, a lot of the original 1.0 stuff is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, like those 1.0 themes, they have a very different feel to them, but it's also something that I really love.
I mean, I have to say that if I was just going to pick a song that I like the most, Twilight Over Thanalan. Because it's just so chill.
Thanks.
It's such a just I love the song is just amazing.
Mhm.
When you're talking about a more current one, I like the Bismarck theme.
Ooh.
And that's again it's also a chill song, but it's got a little bit more of a beat to it. A little more futuristic, a little more present day type of stuff.
So there's two of them, before or after the transition?
I'm trying to remember which it's I don't know which part of the fight it's in, but there's a Benjamin Anthony James did a very cool remix of it. Whichever one that is.
I can go look.
Yeah. But as far
What
as
was his name again?
Benjamin Anthony James is he's got a YouTube channel.
Got it.
I can't, and like I said, I don't remember which transitions. It might be the second part of it. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm really bad right now.
That's fine.
But as far as my favorite songs, they're gonna be ones like, well, you gotta love Brute Justice. It's just so Sentai and amazing.
It's just so unexpected in a lot of ways too.
Yes. Would you expect to hear, blaring trumpets coming out of a giant, mechanical robot?
No, not really.
Unless you throw in that Sentai, leaning bit with the boss. So it makes sense there. But like I said, when you look at the rest of the Alexander Suite, yeah, it's way far in left field.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love the way it's done. It's very fun. I love Oblivion. It's one of my favorite songs in the game. It's just such a well done pop rock style song. I also like Sephiroth. That's it, because it's very deep and very, it builds and then it's just like, rah, It actually does evoke PM5K, Power Man 5000, which is why there was that whole hullabaloo with him when the song first came out.
That is one of the things, like, there's such a breadth of styles.
Exactly. I mean, it depends on my mood, really, on a lot of it. But like I said, a lot of times I like things that are high energy to get me more high energy. So I lean more towards those songs.
But one of the things I would say is that whatever you're feeling like, there's stuff for that style.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, if you listen to the playlist I have in the house here, it's very chill. Because I want the house to be more of a relaxing zone where you're not, high up intense. It's a lot more relaxing music, so you can kind of hang out here, chill, and just enjoy your time here. But like I said, and like I said, I own all of the current OSTs for Final Fantasy 14. So, I mean, if I really wanted to get technical, there's like 5 of them. So if I will include, make each disc one choice. So I like disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, and disc 5.
And then they come out with a 6th disc and you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, then I like that too.
Buying them when they stop putting minions in them.
They still have minions.
Not in the soundtracks.
Yeah.
They have the rolls, don't they?
Well, that's still good.
No, it's not minion.
Well,
I would like an outfit. That'd be cool as well.
Glam rock outfit.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I know that, like I said, the ones that don't come. Well, no, like even the primal ones came with something. I think they might have been orchestrion rolls. The first one didn't come with one, but the second one did. It came with 2 orchestrion rolls.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the purple one came with.
Orchestrion rolls, I think.
Was it orchestrion rolls? I'll have to look.
It's been orchestrion rolls for the last few soundtracks. So why I haven't been.
I thought the Heavensward one came with the gray one. I thought they came with a minion.
The last one I know that came with a minion was the Moogles, I think.
The Primogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand why they include it's like and hey, now you can listen to this music in game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And share it with others in game if you play it in your house or something.
All right. Anyway, how about you, Chille?
Oh, it's hard. A lot of
Like-
times I play without audio on, so that's the problem. Not because the music's bad, it's just because if nowadays I really only really get on for like raiding or Eureka, so I will have my audio from my laptop instead of my PS4.
Okay. Well, what about
If I'm gonna go with anything, no, I would go with like I love the Forden music. Yeah, Forden Extreme.
Yeah, the
Oh.
heroes.
Heroes, yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Then also, I'm gonna have to go with some of the event music. It's really stellar, like the Halloween
Papaya.
music.
Papaya, 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 papaya.
There's stuff besides papaya.
The music they use for the Super Sentai sort of summer event.
I don't remember that one. Oh, Hyper Rainbow Z.
Yeah, hey, Rainbow Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. So good.
Yeah, we got the orchestral for that one within the event.
Yeah, but the fact that they put so much effort on, music that you would only really hear during that event if you didn't have the music roll, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had those music for some of them for a long time, so it's only recently that they've been able to have otherwise it's you only get to enjoy it during this time.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm. There's some kind of ephemeral beauty in that.
And of course, I've got to go with Good King Mugamog, Good King Mog.
Kind and noble Lord.
Oh, by the way, Chille, the last OST came with the Nitty Minion.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, I was looking those up and I finally found it. But yeah, that's where I got my Nidhogg minion.
Okay.
So
I'll
they
have to eBay it sometime.
Yeah, they still are coming. I mean, you can still get it and get the minion for it.
Yeah, but
it might be frustrating for him to try to get it that way.
Yeah,
well, no, I think it should be on the Square Enix store probably.
Or
Okay,
go to CD Japan or like you said, eBay.
Yeah.
Or Amazon.co.uk maybe.
Yeah. Oh no, Amazon doesn't stock anything like that.
Yeah, they do. It's not from Amazon, but it's from a seller on Amazon.
True.
So,
But trust me, I've never had luck with Amazon. I would not buy anything from Amazon unless I buy it from Amazon.
Okay.
I have no luck with sellers for some reason. I seem to pick like the worst one.
well, find one and let me know if I can look it over for you. If it says
it sounds like you'd rather just skip it, honestly.
Yeah.
If their name is Shady Amazon Seller, yeah, avoid them.
What if I want to buy some shady Amazons?
Well, then go for it, Seyrr.
Wow, I did not think you would approve of me buying people.
Wait,
That's problematic, Klauss.
this person selling something I didn't know existed, and I want it because I just had to Google Final Fantasy 14 on Amazon. I didn't know they made it a more glitter projection clock.
Yeah, it's in the shape of a the post Moogle box.
I want it now. It's only 23 quid.
Yeah, actually, I almost picked one up at Detour this weekend, but I realized I can get it
That's
cheaper on online. They wanted $35 for it.
That is amazing.
There's a lot of things that I want really badly.
Oh, the Final Fantasy 14 Duty Commenced was this week as well, wasn't it? For Europe. I forgot to watch it, but yeah.
Yeah, the EU one where they gave away some neat stuff, and Chille didn't win apparently because he didn't watch.
No, I forgot it existed again.
Bad Chille.
We only have it like every few months. It's annoying.
Well, email them and tell them to get on it.
Yeah.
So our Ben should tell their Ben to get on it.
Yeah, tell them to have less content. It's annoying to keep up with.
Well, no, they don't have
more
enough, 'cause
content.
This was
Okay.
only episode 4 of it.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
that's
on
how
like
rare it
20
is.
something for our duty commenced.
Yeah.
So, but I've forgotten it every time because by the time it comes around,
It's like, oh,
okay.
right, they do that here.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I invite you guys as well to share some of your favorite songs from Final Fantasy 14. Tweet it out at PHXDN Radio with the hashtag FFXIV favorite music. So we can find it real easy.
I was going to go with like FFXIV bangers or something.
That could have some other connotation.
If we ever start doing that on the show, I am going to ask for a significant pay increase.
Okay, so we'll double your pay.
Yeah.
Additive increase.
Triple?
Of the gross, not the net.
We'll quadruple it. No?
Oh my god, does someone want to explain to Klauss what additive means?
I know exactly what it is.
I know.
We got a couple of really cool conversations on Twitter as well. At Shiro Shigane on Twitter contacted me initially contacted the podcast mentioning there was an issue with episode 61. So I worked with them to figure out what was wrong with it, and I fixed it. And so they were able to finally get that one downloaded and listen to it. And they came back and said on Twitter, if you're looking for a chill quality FFX heavy podcast, one of my go-tos is Phoenix Down Radio. Go give them a look. So thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate that, Shiro Shigane.
Yeah. And for the bug report.
Yes. Like I said, if you guys encounter an issue on the website, please tell me so I can get it taken care of. It took me like 10 minutes to fix it. I don't know why, but the permissions got changed on that particular file. So I just changed them back and they're good. Internets and things.
Yeah.
And also our friend Taliz at Marvelous Anime commented on one of our previous episodes. He says, hearing you guys talk about Diadem makes me think of one of the wisest things I've ever heard. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a long time making it.
No, he's not wrong.
Hashtag shade thrown.
I mean, it doesn't have to be shade throwing.
He's throwing shade. Trust me.
Oh, okay then.
Oh, Taliz. But no, thank you. I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, you can also say the same thing about, in some cases, Final Fantasy 11 or 1.0.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, actually, yeah, that's the thing. Like, they made a mistake on it, so it's like, okay, we're going to just redo it. Like, they actually absolutely took that advice for 1.0.
Hashtag Lords of Verminion.
How often we bring up Lords of Verminion far more than they do.
Yeah.
That's a problem, actually.
Yeah. The thing is, though, at least they still support it. I know that sounds weird, but they do. Every time you get minions, it's not like they don't add the ability to effects.
Yeah, they do
I
add.
noticed that.
Yep, every new minion has a thing that they can do special within Lord of Verminion, and
some of which are actually pretty cute and appropriate. I continue to be mildly impressed by it.
Yeah, though, like I said, it's a very easy way to get an easy 10,000 MGP a week. Just play 3 matches and you've got 10K. You don't even have to win them.
I want to know how much the bunny suit costs in full MGP because I need to make sure I've got enough for that.
Well, I've got 1.3 million. I think I'm good.
I'm at 500K and haven't spent any since it came out.
I think you're good.
Really.
So yeah, we appreciate all of those comments. So thank you so much, guys. Now I suppose this is the time when we will do some shout outs. Who's going to start?
So I'll give shout outs to everyone who gave me encouragement, helped talk me down, all sorts of other stuff like that for my full-time librarian interview I had this week. I think it went really well. And thank you all for being so awesome and supportive, even if it's of a thing that means that I work more. So I guess when I'm not working, I'll have more money to do things for this. So that'll be awesome.
And the worst case scenario, you learned how to tie a knot.
Oh, yeah. My once or twice a year traditional looking up on YouTube of how to tie a half Windsor knot. Like, I never wear ties, guys.
Ties are a pain in the butt.
Well, part of me feels like maybe it would be nice to have like a nice, somewhat tailored suit that I would look good in.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I might wear nice ties more in that case. If I was looking all sharp and awesome. But yes, thank you to everyone who gave me all that encouragement and support. You guys are great.
Like I said, hopefully you hear back soon and get lots and lots of...
Well, I mean, quite frankly, when I applied, I got the interview date in under a month. Given the Given the speed at which this usually moves, that's actually blazingly fast. Municipal government hiring usually doesn't move very fast. So it really seems like they're expediting the process this time around.
All right, I do need to throw this out right now. Want to throw a shout out real quick to Nicknar for donating another $15 to our Extra Life campaign, putting us at an even $100 already.
Very nice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Like I said, we just got the notification. I appreciate that, sir. Any more that you wanted to throw out there, Seyrr?
No, I think that was about it. Because, I mean, like, that's been the main thing consuming all of my attention.
And how can they find you out on the social medias?
So the main thing would be to follow me on Twitter at FFXIVSEYRR. I mostly post random cool pictures of stuff that I cooked for dinner with some friends, or occasional exhortations that, an entire 1 pound shrimp cocktail platter only has about 500 calories. So it's totally a legit meal.
And is absolutely delicious.
Sounds amazing.
Side note, it is gonna blow away your requirements for sodium and cholesterol, so don't do this too often.
But it's also a good source of protein.
Oh yeah, every once in a while, totally worth it. And oh my god, yes, so much protein.
Hashtag dem gains.
That is totally what's going to happen here. Get in the gym so hard.
Gonna get so swole, Seyrr.
Just don't skip leg day.
There are so many things wrong with all of those sentences.
Okay, Chille, how about you?
I'd like to shout out to Taliz for what he's done for us. He's an amazing guy.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming to talk about the TCG and Critical Strikes game promo code Phoenix Down Radio, which gives you 10% off everything.
Yep, at criticalstrikegames.com.
Yep. A shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining us. A shout out to Evolved Male, aka Girlfriend's Favorite Stream at twitch.tv/Evolved Male. Shout out to both our hosts. Thanks as always for having me on. And a shout out to Luna. We miss you.
Yes. And when we're done here, I believe she's still going to might be streaming some of her housing stuff. So we'll probably end up going back to a host for her. And how can they find you, Chille?
You can find me, Chille UK on Twitter or ben.chillebearhall at psu.com. You can also find me on my other podcast, which is everything that exists in the world. I'm on everyone.
All right.
That's plausible.
All right. And Taliz wanted to throw out that he can be found at Marvelous Anime on Twitter. Since he didn't get to stick around to do a shout out. I'm assuming he wants also shout out to criticalstrikegames.com and that wonderful PHXDN radio code that will get you 10% off. I already
your first gave purchase. It to a couple of friends.
Excellent. In the US, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, if you have friends who are interested in that type of game, you can pass it on to them as well. And like I said, it'll not only support a wonderful business in Seattle, it'll also support your favorite Final Fantasy podcast. Just a little bit.
Woo, sorting my cards.
And I want to shout out all of my co-hosts. Seyrr, thank you again for a awesome and well thought out lore segment. Chille, thank you as always for being you, basically. I mean, like I said, you bring that special thing to the show, and it really makes it a lot of fun every week. So I seriously, I want to thank you for that.
Now put your special thing away. You're grossing everyone out. Wait, what?
Shout out to Luna. Caught up with her this weekend a little bit after the con. She's doing well, and she's hoping to join us again soon.
Yay, we miss you.
She's been working on trying to build her channel, so I strongly recommend that you guys go check out Luna_Vox here on Twitch.
She's
follow
very
her
close to her goal to be a affiliate, I think.
Exactly. She just needs more viewers. So if you don't yet follow her there, like I said, twitch.tv/Luna_Vox, go give her a follow and watch her stuff. She puts out some really interesting stuff for the person who's interested in the glamour side of Final Fantasy 14, whether that's housing, whether it's clothes,
Which really is everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. So in one way, shape, or another.
What are you playing?
Exactly. So give her some love. I want to shout out to the Knights Lunarius out on the Goblin server. Like I said, they are the Anime Twin Cities official group in Final Fantasy XIV. It was awesome to meet you guys at Detour. And like I said, I look forward to working with you guys in the future on some collaborative events, whether it's us going onto your show, you coming onto ours, however you guys want to do it. It'd be really cool to do. And shout out to everybody that I met at Detour. It was a lot of fun. Had a great time at the Final Fantasy photo shoot, as well as just all the random cosplayers that I met. It was an amazing time. Thank you so much for helping me have just an amazing weekend. And last but not least, huge shout out to my sis, Plebeian Goth, for making that amazing Red Mage hat. So
Now, please don't make matching Speedos.
no, she's working on the coat still. So
Good. Keep doing that.
all right. So if you want to check out our website, it's phoenixdownradio.com. Our Twitter is at phxdnradio. I suppose I should also tell you mine. If you want to catch me out on Twitter, it's at phxdn_Klauss, and that's Klauss with 2 S's. Like I said, if you're listening to us on the podcast, come join us sometime live at Twitch. I'm still trying to stream every day at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. And like I said, so far I've streamed every day from January 1st up until today, and hopefully for many, many days going in the future. So that's my goal, is to stream every day for as long as possible.
Didn't someone say till like 2022?
2025, I think, is what Nick Nar said.
Oh, good lord.
I know, right? How am I going to do that? Well, if you guys want to, if we get some more subscribers here, maybe I could afford to quit my job and do it full time. I don't know. Probably not happening. Yeah, June 2025 is what Nick Nar said.
Okay.
We're going to need a lot more support to make that happen, I think. Hashtag Phoenix Down Radio for life. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is. And if possible, leave us a rating or review. It really does help people find our show and helps us to grow within this community of amazing Final Fantasy content creators. If you really dig the show, please consider subscribing here at Twitch. You can, if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually use one free sub every month. And if you wanted to use it on us, we would be greatly appreciative of that. Otherwise, you can always look at our Patreon account out at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio, and you can support us that way. All proceeds we would get go towards growing the show, covering things like hosting costs, and also do some of the fun giveaways and stuff like that. Speaking of giveaways, in the last episode, I did announce that we're going to be giving away a power-up. No, not the power-up, the Mega Flare emote. We didn't really get too much people retweeting that, so I'm going to extend it for one more episode. If you retweet out any of the times that I throw out this episode's information, I will copy that down and we'll get you entered in, so we get some more entries into that. All right. I think there was like only 2 people that retweeted us, so I want to try and get a few more if we could, guys.
Come on, guys.
But yeah,
Come on.
it really helps us out.
Mega Flare.
Exactly. So it would really help us out. Then we can help you out. Help me, help you. Sorry, I'm done with my inner Jerry.
Yeah, you are.
But regardless, any kind of support, whether it's emails, likes, retweets, follows, or whatever, it's always greatly appreciated. We really love interacting with you guys and the rest of the community. So,
if you're going to write our names on a bathroom stall, please let us know which one so we can hang around the appropriate area. That's just common courtesy.
So Seyrr can hang around that proper area?
I mean, if people like us, it would be rude not to go get murdered in a bathroom.
But then who's going to do our lore?
Oh.
Yeah.
What if I just ask them not to murder me? That works, right?
Depends on... Anyway. So, for my co-hosts, Lunavox, for our guest, Taliz Marvelous, for Seyrr, and for Chille, I'm Klauss Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.